Where is this? Why am I underwater? It's so hard to breathe. A girl vaguely wondered. A ceiling? Where is this place? Huh, is this my hand? It's strange. How can it be so beautiful? Before the girl could compose herself, someone rushed over and grabbed her by the collar. A shout rang out. You are the one who has ruined the entire family's future. How could you be so heartless? Why did you jump into the water right before your wedding day? He called her name loudly. Haley! She widened her eyes in astonishment. Haley? Who's that? Memories from her past life flooded back. Teacher, Kang Yize is saying strange things again. Yize, what's wrong with you now? No one here. People gossiped about her. Why does she keep seeing strange things? Could she be possessed? She's an orphan too. Such an unfortunate fate. I heard there's a very powerful shaman in Trung-Nam. Maybe we should send her there? Just looking at her face, you can see she's unfortunate. How can the gods bless someone so skinny? She's probably only good for doing chores around the house. Everyone treated her like a disaster, abandoned by her parents at birth, and she saw things she shouldn't. Afterwards, she was adopted by old lady Yong-san and made a living by running errands. That was Kang Yize, a very unfortunate life. And that was me. Returning to the present, the scolding continued. How dare you do that? Because of you, this family is ruined. That was your chance to seize it. She was still bewildered, asking herself, what is happening? This is the first time I've seen this place, and I don't know the person scolding me at all. Have I become this person named Haley? Haley, is she still here? Please help me get out of here. But there was no sign of Haley, the true owner of this body. I can't feel anything at all. Why is this happening? Vague images appeared in her mind. It was Haley's memory. Why? Did it have to be in the water? She suddenly understood. Haley had thrown herself into the water. Since a lot of time has passed, Haley's soul has probably dissipated or become a wandering spirit. So I haven't just possessed her. I'm in the body of someone who is deceased. The cursing rang out again. Haley, are you listening to me, you idiot? She thought, if what I just saw in the memory is true, then this person is Haley's father, Duke Duncan. He frowned and asked, do you have any idea how much effort I put into building this fortune? As he finished speaking, he swung his hand and slapped her hard across the face. Just then, a cold voice rang out, truly a rare sight. Hearing that voice, Duke Duncan quickly let go. She collapsed to the ground. The Duke turned to look at the newcomer. Your Majesty, the man sneered. Does the Duke usually discipline his children this way? You may leave, I have some business to discuss with my fiancée. The Duke's face changed color and he stood frozen, unwilling to leave. The man slammed his hand on the Duke's shoulder. Did you not hear me? His face gradually darkened, his tone as cold as ice. Get out. She trembled as she tried to sit up. This person, he was also in Haley's memories. Her fiancé, the emperor of this empire. But what is that? I've never seen so many spirits attached to one person before. What on earth did he do to attract so much resentment? At that moment, he spoke. Why is your body trembling like that? He slammed the hilt of his sword down right in front of her. Stop shaking, Haley Duncan. She kept her head bowed to the ground, not daring to look up. How can I be calm when I see so many strange spirits surrounding him? He reassured her. It's true you have wronged me, but I didn't come here to kill you. Haley had committed suicide right before the royal wedding, which sparked rumors that greatly damaged his reputation. But, thinking this, she spoke with a tremble. But, when you say that, it only makes me tremble more. He looked at her in silence with a puzzled expression. She thought in fear, oh no, I've misspoken again. Suddenly, he burst out laughing at her naivety. Is he laughing? He used the hilt of his sword to lift her face. Don't tremble, I only came here to talk. Come to think of it, you and I have never spoken more than 3 sentences to each other, have we? Do you hate this marriage so much that you're willing to end your own life? This marriage was proposed by your Duncan family. Seeing her silence, he prompted, answer me. I don't want to have to ask a second time. She thought in confusion. I don't know. Haley's memories are still incomplete. But even if I don't know what Haley was thinking, I don't want to die. She hurriedly explained. No, it's not like that. It's not that I dislike this marriage. Then perhaps it's because you haven't forgotten another man. She jumped. What? In my entire life as Kangi's, I've never experienced love. But Haley Duncan's life had. He spoke again. No matter which man's image you hold in your heart, I don't care. I'd love to support your pure love too. But I can't become an unlucky emperor, recorded in history for being rejected by his fiancée. An unlucky emperor? So I guess I have to live a little longer than I even wished for. But if I must marry someone from the Duncan family, you should at least wear the crown before you die. She lamented inwardly. Grandma Yong-san, it seems no matter where I go, my fate is incredibly unfortunate. Old Lady Yong-san adopted me, a child who could see spirits. She once warned me, Yize, you must not go near water. To prevent me from being harmed by spirits, she took great care of me, even restraining the way I spoke. Don't you wander near rivers, streams, and the sea. Whenever she had time, she would remind me to stay away from places with water. I knew it held a very negative meaning. No matter how unfortunate my fate was, no, even more so, I wanted to live a long life. So I spent my entire life trying not to look at them. But then, when I woke up, I had become the girl named Haley. And I met the man surrounded by a crowd of spirits as if he had stepped out of hell. Furthermore, he said I should wear the crown and then die. Does he mean I'll become the Emperor's partner? Wasn't I just doing chores on a mountain? The spirits were whispering. If she wants to refuse, now is the only time. Today is the only day she can choose. So they are waiting for my answer. She told herself, don't make eye contact with them. She stammered, want to ask you something? Yes, speak. If I refuse, what will happen? The official reason for postponing the wedding is that the bride has a severe cold. So if you refuse, I will change the reason from severe cold to deathly ill. Hearing this, she couldn't help but worry. And of course, I'll have to kill you. What kind of unfair choice is this? Seeing her terrified expression, he seemed greatly pleased. What an interesting reaction. Now it's your turn to answer. Or do you want to jump into the water again? She quickly shook her head. No! I can answer this question without thinking. I'm still very eager to live. She placed her hand on her chest and answered resolutely, I will not give up my life again. Absolutely not. At least, I won't do so until the day I have to wear the crown. Is that acceptable? I promise. He suddenly froze for a moment. All right, I'll try to believe you. She thought doubtfully. Is that expression one of trust? Of course, I can't completely trust someone who just tried to commit suicide yesterday. He stood up, a cunning smile on his face. I will turn a blind eye to my fiancé's mistake. She flinched. Can he read my mind? He turned back to his attendant. Bring Duke Duncan here. Yes. A moment later, the Duke entered. Your Majesty, you summoned me. He gritted his teeth and cursed silently. This little brat, daring to order me around as if he's the master of this house. He rested his sword on the ground, his voice a warning. I am warning you. Soon your daughter will become the empress of this canny empire, just as you wished. Therefore, a person like you is not allowed to touch her arbitrarily. Don't make me take action. The air around him became incredibly dark. The whispers of the spirits began to rise, intertwining with each other. Haley saw the terrifying scene. I'm saying this for your own good. You should remember me whenever you think of harming her. The spirits relentlessly urged, kill him, kill him, kill him now. She covered her mouth in terror. There's so much malevolence, it's not something a normal human can withstand. Could it be he's actually going to kill the Duke? His jaw clenched tightly. His hand gripped the hilt of his sword as if trying to restrain something. Seeing this, the Duke couldn't help but feel afraid. Then he drew his sword. The surrounding spirits grew even more agitated, screaming incessantly, kill him! He let out a sigh. Ha, damn it, not again. However, he still held the sword tightly. Then he sheathed his sword, tilting his head to give an order. Answer. The Duke reluctantly replied, Yes, Your Majesty. She looked at him with suspicion. A normal person would have probably gone mad instantly, yet he can stop it on his own. Suddenly, he extended his hand towards her. She looked down and realized she was still kneeling. She didn't hesitate to take his hand. Then she slowly stood up. He suddenly pulled her towards him. Then he raised her hand and gently kissed the back of it. He said softly, 4 days for you. Is that enough to get over your cold, my love? She replied, Yes. Then we will proceed with the wedding in 4 days. The malicious rumors have spread far enough, I can't wait any longer. This is the last mercy I will show the Duncan family. He shifted his gaze to her. Well then, let's work together from now on. He pulled her into an embrace, gently calling, Haley Duncan. Remember to survive and come to me. You must come to the Imperial Palace. I will have some knights stationed around the Duncan estate before the wedding. It's also to see if the Duke dares to lay a hand on my future empress. Hearing this, he couldn't help but grit his teeth in anger. Haley had faintly heard his terrifying threats. Caney Empire, Roderick Perosbrick, how can he still be alive carrying so much karma and resentment? Who is he, really? In the blink of an eye, 4 days had passed, and the wedding day arrived. The scene was magnificent, with countless nobles from all classes in attendance. People couldn't stop whispering, it's a good thing the wedding could still be held. These words accidentally reached Yeezy's Haley's ears. Actually, I knew something would happen. What bride would want misfortune on her big day? She sat quietly and listened. Duke Duncan is also cruel, to push his own daughter into that position. This is also in Haley's memories. I still don't have her complete memories. There are still many gaps that I'm not clear about. But I know the emperor has gone through 2 failed political marriages. He only required one condition. That was a young noble lady with no ambition for power. The emperor didn't want any more complicated relationships with royal relatives. People also whispered that the first bride died in an accident and the second died from poison. It's only on this third try that a marriage can be successful. She thought to herself, no, this third time was not supposed to succeed either. The real Haley threw herself into the river, and I'm the only one who knows that. Lost in thought, she was startled by a knock on the door. Roderick appeared in a white ceremonial suit. Haley Duncan, did you have a beautiful dream last night? It was your last night in this place. Well, perhaps this house holds nothing worth lingering for you, does it? Yes, I had a very beautiful dream last night. She couldn't help but think, today? Are those spirits not following him? There were clearly so many spirits surrounding him. How is this possible? Why is that? Looking closely, his features are also very good. Roderick seemed to notice her attentive gaze. He was about to say something that startled her. I think I was staring at him too intently. He spoke. I've said it many times. She felt a little guilty. Perhaps it's because I'm too nervous, I'm sorry. Roderick let out a sigh. I don't like liars. I'm not lying. I'm not nervous right now. No, it's your majesty who's making me nervous. She suddenly realized she had misspoken again and quickly covered her mouth. I misspoke again. Roderick thought to himself, her reactions are indeed interesting. She was both anxious and embarrassed. I will be more careful with my words. She told herself, be honest now. She continued, Your Majesty is a very noble person, but I know nothing about you. So if I am not more careful with my words, I will surely make a mistake. After saying that, she wondered, am I being a bit too honest? Suddenly he said, this is fine. I understand what you mean. She once again stared blankly at his handsome face, her cheeks blushing. The butler entered to announce, it is almost the auspicious time. All right. He offered her his arm. Well then, let's go. Although a little anxious, she quickly took his arm. Yes? As they entered the ceremonial hall, she thought, habits ingrained in the body are truly frightening. I have never worn high heels or worn complicated outfits like this, yet I can walk so naturally. I seem to feel a strange energy. From where? Suddenly, she was startled awake. Her whole body was alarmed as she looked up. This energy... A stream of light appeared above the Pope's head. She looked up and saw a figure in white, sitting on a white horse. It was a young man with white hair and eyes as cold as ice. She was startled. A spirit? This is the first time I've felt such a powerful energy. Seeing her dazed, Roderick called out, Haley, but she was still lost in her own thoughts. It's not like a ghost or a demon, it's on a completely different level. As if noticing her gaze, the spirit also looked down. She immediately bowed her head to avoid it. I have to pretend I don't see it. If I get involved, it will be a lot of trouble. Roderick called her. Haley Duncan, what are you doing? She was startled awake. I'm sorry. Her hand gently took Roderick's arm. Let's go. She thought, this world is so strange and scary, there are too many vengeful spirits. I must be as cautious as possible. That night at Roderick's castle. Your Majesty, what do you think? Let's see. I'm not sure either. She should be on our side. You have such charm. Hearing that, Roderick smirked. She's a Duncan, after all. How could it be that easy? I'm at a loss for words with you, Captain of the First Knightly Order. It seems she's not as naive as I was told. Was it really him who caused it? The deaths of the 2 women who were once married to your Majesty? That matter. Haley Duncan's father. You don't think Duke Duncan committed murder? If the 2 previous fiancés hadn't been murdered, their families wouldn't have been as powerful as the Duncans. He has always tried to become a royal relative, so it's highly likely that he is the culprit. But his own daughter tried to commit suicide. Roderick continued. Even if she wasn't murdered, she had no intention of becoming the Empress. Even so, we cannot dismiss the suspicion about her father. First, we should keep an eye on the Duncan household. And we must think of how to use Haley Duncan to our best advantage. Are you planning to drink more? Shouldn't you be leaving now? Are you worried I'll abandon my bride on our wedding night? Your Majesty, he ordered, eater, pour it. Don't treat her too cruelly. Actually, the Empress is also very pitiful. Such a young lady caught in the political game of the Emperor and the Duke. Roderick asked, pitiful? Those are not suitable words for someone in your position. That girl is Duncan's pawn and she is also Duncan's person, so you should place someone in the Empress's room to monitor her without delay. Yes, Your Majesty, do not worry about that. With that, Roderick slammed his wine glass on the table. He stood up and walked out of the room. I'm leaving. It's nearby, so don't follow me. The knight watched Roderick's retreating back, lost in thought. The knight thought to himself, His Majesty seems quite well today. Could his hysteria be subsiding? For a long time, the Emperor had suffered from severe nervous exhaustion and insomnia. As the symptoms worsened, rumors that he was becoming hysterical began to spread, and now they are very difficult to quell. I hope His Majesty remains this stable. If only every day could be like today. Meanwhile, Roderick was walking alone in a quiet corridor. Dark shadows began to cling to his heels. Then they gradually climbed up to his neck. Damn it! My condition was so good today, like why does my head feel like it's about to split in two? At the same time, in the bridal chamber, Haley was examining her nightgown. This nightgown, isn't it too thin? The wedding night. When I was Kangiza, I never experienced this before. At that time, I was living in seclusion in a remote village. But it's not that I don't like it. On the contrary, I think this is an opportunity. That's because virgin ghosts and bachelor ghosts often have very deep resentments. Isn't that important for everyone's life? Why must one live a single life and die in resentment? She sat up, full of determination. That's right, I'm determined. Roderick suddenly opened the door and entered, saw the scene and asked, "What is this?" Which made Haley scream in fright. He held his head, his voice full of exhaustion. My head is already spinning. Haley saw the dark shadows surrounding Roderick and was terrified. Oh my God, how did it come to this? He looked fine 3 days ago. If he didn't take a walk in a cemetery or go to a battlefield, how could he end up like this? Roderick removed his hand and looked at Haley. You are the Empress, right? It seems the Duke is very diligent in selling off his daughter. As he spoke, he walked towards her, causing her to flinch and step back. He walked past her and sat down on the bed in silence. She was flustered. What? What should I do? This is so embarrassing. Are you all right? She was startled when she heard the malicious whispers of the spirits surrounding him. She thought in panic. This is dangerous. I can't let him be mesmerized by those words. She shouted, Niar, snap out of it. They are about to steal his consciousness. Then she used all her strength to shake Roderick violently and shouted, You are not that kind of person. Even though I don't know you well, you have endured for so long, you must not give in. Seeing him seem to be struggling against it, she breathed a sigh of relief. All right, he can hear my voice. Suddenly, Roderick fainted, falling onto her. Your Majesty, are you sleeping? He must be better now. His features really are good. A high nose bridge, a full chin, all signs of a fortunate person. He looks quite good. Completely the opposite of Haley. I like it. Furthermore, although he is extremely weak right now, the energy inside him is no small matter. It's similar to this mansion and the spirit I saw at the wedding. How should I put it? A sacred energy. She wondered. So why can these spirits follow him? She suddenly remembered her grandmother's words. Yeezy, remember what I told you. If you can perceive those spirits, it means they can also perceive you. If you interfere with the other world, they can also interfere with your world. So don't do anything. Your unfortunate fate might become even more tangled. She quickly laid Roderick down on the bed. But Grandma, this is the person who stopped Duke Duncan from hitting me. I'm just a normal person who can see spirits. And I only learned a few things by watching you perform rituals. If I get involved with these spirits, I'll only suffer. Let's just consider it repaying a favor. Helping a little bit should be fine, right? She used her magic to help Roderick. At least I can help him get a good night's sleep tonight. A great power enveloped her body. She opened her eyes, her gaze showing clear determination. A black smoke seemed to intend to attack her from within that energy source, along with terrifying voices. He, I see it. Look here, girl. You saw it, didn't you? Suddenly, she tore a piece of her dress with her bare hands. Then she bit her finger hard until it bled. I wonder if this will work. She used her bloody finger to draw a character on the piece of cloth. To deal with these spirits, one must use power. A wave of power from the cloth began to spread out. She spoke in a loud, clear voice. O deceased ones, time in this world and the other world are completely different. The worlds of life and death must never be mixed. O you who have acted wrongly, return to your rightful places at once. The power radiating from the cloth began to fight against those unclean entities. Purple smoke filled the room, then slowly dissipated. Haley sat slumped in the middle of the room, watching the smoke disappear. She panted tiredly, thinking to herself, Is it over? Suddenly, a wave of nausea rose in her throat, causing her to quickly cover her mouth. The piece of cloth was still beside her. I can only chase them away for a while. They will reappear soon. She stood up and pushed the talisman under the bed with her foot. I'll hide the talisman under the bed. She looked back and saw Roderick still sleeping soundly. Tonight, he will definitely be able to sleep well. That favor, I have repaid it. After saying that, Haley immediately collapsed from exhaustion. She lay on the edge of the bed, right next to Roderick. Dawn began to break. Outside the castle, a patch of darkness appeared before her eyes. The man's eyelids slowly lifted, revealing an angular face. She woke up in a daze. Roderick rested his chin on his hand, looking at her, and said, "Haley Duncan, you're awake." After a few seconds of bewilderment, she quickly sat up. He saw her action and thought to himself, her reaction is quite big. Haley looked at her own awkward sleeping position and asked hesitantly, Why are you lying like that?" He didn't answer but pointed to the torn part of her dress. That thing. Haley let out a scream and quickly covered herself with the blanket. He, however, calmly asked her, "Did I cause that? I don't remember having such a steamy wedding night." "No, it's nothing at all. You fell asleep as soon as you arrived. Nothing happened. And I'm not dissatisfied because we didn't do anything." Roderick ignored those words and grabbed his own blanket. He threw the blanket towards her. "Cover up." She took the blanket and could only say softly, "Thank you." "So if I didn't cause it, could a stranger have entered this room?" Hearing this, she quickly replied, "No, no one did." She lamented inwardly. "How should I explain this? I think it might have been me." "Me?" He looked puzzled. "Why?" She stammered for a reason. That while I was half asleep, I felt hot and constrained." Roderick's face clearly showed disbelief. She could only cry silently in her heart. The air between them fell silent, and after a moment he stood up. "I'm leaving. Get some more rest." Watching him walk out and close the door, Haley could only cry inwardly. "I have to pretend I don't know anything, which makes it even more embarrassing." Standing outside, Roderick still had many questions. "It wasn't me. My memory of last night was suddenly cut off. I thought my hysteria was about to relapse. No, my mind is strangely clear. Since Haley Duncan came to this place, it's been like this twice." Her shy face appeared in his mind. "I think it might have been me. While I was half asleep, I felt hot and constrained." Thinking of this, he let out a faint smile. "If you're going to make an excuse, at least make it a reasonable one. A strange girl." 4 days had passed since the wedding. Haley was in a private place thinking, after that chaotic wedding night, I haven't seen the Emperor again. I don't need him to thank me either. But it's so sad, leaving me lonely like this. But this isn't the time for me to think about these things. A stack of white paper was placed on the table. She sat down in the chair and picked up the stack of paper. "I've decided to make a better talisman. Although I don't have enough materials like gold paper, I'll first try with what I got from the library." "All right, I'll make a talisman." But behind Haley, those black smokes appeared again. "Do you see us?" She was helpless about this because after that night, the spirits started to bother her. They constantly spoke to her. "Roderick will behead you. You will die. You will definitely die." Haley replied coldly, all right, thanks for letting me know." She rolled up a piece of paper and burned it. "But—" She held the burning paper towards the spirits. "I've already died once. Isn't dying again too cruel? Go away." Haley hid another talisman behind the curtain. "At the very least, I have to set up a barrier. I can't keep living like this forever." As she hid many talismans behind picture frames and furniture, she lamented, "Helping people is truly useless. If I had listened to my grandmother, I wouldn't be in this situation." Suddenly, a strange noise in the room startled her. Is there still a spirit that hasn't been driven away? She stood up and walked towards the source of the sound. It doesn't feel like a malevolent spirit. Haley pulled back the curtain with her hand. She was stunned by what was in front of her. "What is this?" A small white animal was looking at her with sparkling, teary eyes. Suddenly, a gentle tug on the hem of her dress. The small creature crossed its arms, sat with its legs crossed, and said softly, "What are you doing here, sis?" It continued with a puzzled look. "Not going home?" The spirit replied, "This is my home. It's definitely not a demon." Haley soothed it. "Don't cry anymore. I don't intend to harm you." It asked, "Who are you, sis?" "I am—" She hesitated a bit but still answered, "My name is Yize Kang Yize." It looked bewildered. "Yize?" "Yes, I'm Yize. This is the first time I've said this name since coming to this world." Haley asked back, "And you? What's your name?" "I don't have a name. No one has ever called me. You're the first person to see me." She was stunned. "That makes sense." It confided in her. "Yize, I'm actually very scared." "Scared? Because of this?" She looked in another direction. In front of her was a white porcelain box. The spirit said, "There's a crack in that stone box." She thought to herself, this item must have been around for at least 100 years, right? Old objects often have spirits residing in them. So this is the spirit of this box. The spirit of this box. Perhaps because the box is cracked, it can't use its full power to hide itself. "I'm sorry, I can't fix this. If a newcomer like me touches it, it might get completely ruined. My luck is terrible." The spirit's eyes welled up with tears again, and it cried even louder, which softened her heart a little. Hey, don't stare at me like that. Instead, I will prevent impure energies from entering this room. Right now, that's all I can do. That should help you feel less scared, right? It replied happily. Yes, okay. And also, give me that thing you're holding. Put it inside my house. What? Oh, this talisman? It ran around her, chirping over and over. Give me one, please. Give me one. She reluctantly replied. All right, I know. Oh, this little one is really something. Looking at it, its age might not be 100 years, but closer to 300. She quickly put the talisman inside the box. Is that good? It replied cheerfully, yeah, and then danced and sang. Wow, amazing! Seeing it so happy, Haley also found herself smiling along with its every jump. Perhaps this was her first genuine smile since coming to this world. The little spirit kept praising, amazing. She asked it, do you like it that much? At a castle, 4 days later. A few days later, Yeezy, Haley, fell ill. I used all my strength to write talismans. That's why I said I shouldn't do things beyond my capabilities. But if I want this place to be safe, this much is still not enough. I carved a protective ward out of wood, but it looks so messy. She went to the table where the unfinished carvings were. The little spirit lay listlessly on the bed, looking quite tired. She thought, I should at least carve a jangsung and place it in this room. A jangsung is a totem pole, often regarded as a guardian deity in Korea. Suddenly a voice rang out, what are you doing? She was startled and looked up to see Roderick. Your Majesty, why are you so suddenly... He said, I heard the Empress's health was not good, so I brought medicine to check on your condition. The headmaid Deborah brought the medicine. She replied, flustered. Thank you. Suddenly, she saw the evil spirits trying to enter the room from the door but being blocked. The scene outside was like a battle. Those spirits can't get in. The barrier is working. But I can't stop all of them. I need to finish the jangsung quickly and set it up. Roderick picked up a piece of wood. In this condition, what are you planning to do? She replied, that is... He picked up the piece of wood with hundreds of thoughts in his head. Both the headmaid and His Majesty seemed to be sharing the same strange thought. Mrs. Deborah turned her face away, her cheeks blushing. I thought nothing happened on the first night. It seems that's not the case. Oh my, how embarrassing. His Majesty said something that made Haley freeze. Confiscated. Her expressionless face replied, yes. Roderick gently took the carving knife from her hand. I will confiscate this knife. Yes. The Empress recently attempted suicide with a knife in hand, so I will not let you hold it anymore. I'm confiscating it. She said resentfully, how could you? I'm leaving, remember to take your medicine? Actually, I came here because of the Knight Captain's report. A few days ago, Zane had reported to His Majesty. The Empress's bedroom smells like something burning, and I also found some ashes. Roderick asked, do you think she'll jump into a fire next time? Furthermore, they said she's been carving a sculpture every day. I was wondering what she was planning to do. But that thing, what is it really? In the room, Haley collapsed onto the bed, sighing wearily. Her eyes were shut tight, a few tears rolling down. It would have been finished in just a few more days. There's nothing left to do, if that's the case. She slowly lifted the pillow, taking out a rather mysterious-looking book. Maybe I should try reading this. I took it from Duke Duncan's mansion. Haley Duncan's diary. The book faintly emitted a dim light. Inside it was written, October 16th, year 497. Tomorrow is my birthday. The little spirit suddenly called her name. Yiza. She replied softly, yes. How come you can see me? Many priests have come here, but they all couldn't see me. Among the skilled priests, there are many who can truly see things. But it's also possible they are just frauds, pretending to have divine power to swindle money. The little spirit replied innocently, but I don't have a nose? You're right. The spirit laughed triumphantly. Hee hee. She continued to focus on the diary. I thought it might help me fill in the missing pieces of memory, so I brought it here. But Haley seemed to live without much thought. The diary was full of random entries. Who will make my birthday cake? It doesn't matter, as long as it's delicious. The end. The content just went around in circles like that, making her feel like Haley was just writing for the sake of it. Just then a voice called from outside. Your Majesty the Empress, I am the head maid, Deborah. She snapped the diary shut and quickly hid it. Come in. The maid bowed to her. Your Highness, a letter and medicine have been sent from your family home. The medicine will be brought up after its safety has been checked. Family home? You mean Duke Duncan? She replied, I don't need the medicine. I'm much better. I won't take any more. I understand. So it's just the letter, right? Yes. She took the letter and immediately opened it. The letter said, Your Majesty the Empress, I heard you were ill. How are you feeling now? I was very worried, so I went to find ingredients for medicine and sent them to you. Sounds so fake. You're the one who hit me at the mansion. She continued reading. Father wants to tell you this. To me? What does he want now? She was silent for a long moment before speaking. Hey, Deborah. The maid replied softly. Yes, Your Highness. I want to see His Majesty. Do you know where he is now? Yes, he is in the reception room. I will have someone prepare you. All right. She thought, I don't know how to respond to Duke Duncan. She gently lifted the blanket. Looking at the diary, she thought, the owner of this body, Haley, who was supposed to become the Empress, seems to have no feelings left. In this world, when a soul leaves the body, emotions also fade away. Only those with great ideals or deep hatred can break that rule, becoming vengeful spirits or guardian deities to exist. Haley, is there anything you want to do? In the letter, the last lines appeared. Although you already have servants in the Imperial Palace, it would be more comfortable for you if Father sends people from our home. A moment later in the reception room, it was extremely noisy inside. Is this my fault? You all must take responsibility. You low-level people are also embezzling from the Empire's treasury. Are you insulting me now? Suddenly, a thick, dark aura arose. It turned out to be from Roderick. He glared murderously at the noisy crowd. He gritted his teeth, looking extremely angry. Seeing this, the crowd became scared and dared not say another word. He spoke in a cold voice. Are you all finished speaking? Does anyone else want to speak? Zane, standing behind, thought to himself, this state is dangerous. If he continues to be angry, I must stop him. Since his ascension 3 years ago, his cruel side has become more and more apparent. Although I've tried to convince myself that the throne is such a place, his drawing his sword and shedding blood over trivial matters is truly strange. It's like he's a completely different person from before. Just then, Haley arrived and witnessed the entire event. Both she and the maid beside her broke out in a cold sweat. Deborah said worriedly, Your Majesty the Empress, I think it would be best for you to return now. As Haley walked, she thought, that's right, I decided not to get involved anymore, but thinking of this, she recalled Roderick's dark appearance. Why is his condition getting more and more serious? It really makes one worry. Then the image of Roderick about to draw his sword appeared in her mind again. Thinking of this, she suddenly snapped to her senses. Roderick seemed to be preparing to strike. Haley immediately pushed the maid's hand away and ran as fast as she could. Roderick looked extremely terrifying at that moment. He angrily ordered, Kill them all! Majesty! Haley cried out, rushing forward to hug his arm. Everyone who witnessed this scene was extremely surprised. Haley thought in fear, What should I do? Why did I suddenly jump out here like this? The dark energy on Roderick's body slowly dissipated, and his face finally softened. She looked at him. Has he returned to normal? Suddenly, the beads on her wrist glowed. Those spirits are gradually retreating. Roderick had also gradually returned to normal. He opened his eyes wide, gently looking at her beautiful face. Is that Haley Duncan? He coldly turned his body forward. He observed everything in silence. He suddenly pulled his hand out of her small one. He quickly sheathed his sword as he turned, startling her. He asked, What's wrong? She wanted to curse in her heart. What's wrong? Whose fault is it that things turned out this way? That look seemed to say, Don't make me ask again. I originally only came here to talk about the letter Duke Duncan sent. But it seems their relationship isn't very good. If I mention it, I might be in big trouble. Those spirits would be very happy then. She whispered shyly, Actually, I came here to invite you for tea, but it seems I came at a bad time. If you find me too rude, please forgive me. She said this, but in her heart she was screaming, Go away somewhere else. Hearing this, he clicked his tongue. Tea? She quickly asked. It's too sudden, isn't it? That is, because you brought me medicine last time, but I haven't had a chance to thank you yet. She gave Deborah a pleading look. Help me, please. Deborah understood and spoke up for her. Your Majesty, it seems the Empress is very fond of the tea sent from Rosarock. He heard this, but his attitude remained as cold as before. Only then did he speak. All right, bring it here. Haley rejoiced inwardly. Deborah is the best. The meeting below also ended peacefully. That's all for today. Inside the tea room, the two sat opposite each other. Haley took a sip of tea. Roderick maintained his cold demeanor, sitting still in his chair. The atmosphere became more tense. She thought to herself, This is so uncomfortable. There's nothing to talk about and the tea isn't good. Just then he spoke. Haley Duncan, what are you thinking? She replied awkwardly. Yes. You don't like this tea? No, I'm just wondering why you are like this. And also, it seems this tea is not to your taste. She broke into a cold sweat, thinking in fear. I've been found out. She had to say. If your Majesty keeps guessing my preferences like this. He sneered again. And then what am I supposed to do? His nature really isn't malicious, and he doesn't hate jokes. It's just that he has to suffer because of those spirits. The moment they are separated for a bit, they cling to him again. It's really concerning. Suddenly, he bowed his head wearily. She bit her lip. Seriously, watching this makes me tired too. She stood up and walked towards Roderick. Have you not been getting enough sleep lately? Do I look like it? A little, actually a lot, she sighed. Then she placed her hand on his. Everyone around was surprised to see this scene. Of course, Roderick was just as confused. Zane worried silently. She's gone too far. Everyone in the Imperial Palace will know that this couple's relationship is very cold. If only His Majesty's mood doesn't worsen, that would be great. She gently massaged his strong hand. He asked, confused, "What are you doing?" She replied nonchalantly, "Doing this will help you sleep better. I also used to have insomnia." He thought to himself, now she's not even bothering to hide it with lies. As expected, being blocked by the spirits for a long time, so the energy is disrupted. For a person with as much power as this man, his current state is very dangerous. Roderick sat to one side, full of curiosity. What is she doing? Haley began to rearrange things. I'm the one who knows better than anyone where energy flows, because my job is to soothe people's energy. And before they came to Grandma for the ritual, she spoke up. Does it hurt? He replied gently, no. She quickly removed his outer robe. If it hurts, you have to tell me. He smiled and replied, all right, thank you. She thought sadly, a person with great energy shouldn't be followed by spirits. How many evil things did he do to end up like this? But he's not a malicious person either. Energy, almost there, just flow through. As soon as the energy was transferred, Roderick immediately felt a refreshing sensation. What is this? His eyelids gradually grew heavy. So comfortable. His body felt relaxed. So relaxing. She sat still, providing a support for him to rest on. She soothed his soul, helping him to heal. She let out a sigh of relief. His energy is better now. For now, it can help him endure the spirits more easily. I'm sorry, but this is all I can do. Zane approached curiously and asked Haley softly, really asleep? She was embarrassed. My behavior seems strange, huh? When you're tired, getting a massage is comfortable. He must be tired. Has he been unable to sleep recently? That's why I find it so miraculous. He has always suffered from insomnia, but lately he's become even more sensitive. She silently guessed. It seems he's trying to explain what just happened. The situation was a bit, she said. Everyone has times when they are sensitive about things like that. It's okay, I don't mind. This man has no other choice. Zane replied respectfully, yes. Just as another servant approached to cover Roderick with a blanket. He was immediately corrected by Zane. Don't you see the Empress's shoulders are cold? Get another blanket for the Empress. She waved her hand. It's all right. I'll leave as soon as I finish my tea. At that moment, he stirred slightly. That startled her a bit. Roderick unconsciously turned and nestled into her embrace. This scene made all three witnesses blush. She looked at them shyly. These people, it seems they are thinking something improper. His hand unconsciously tightened, making the situation even more awkward. She could only cry silently. It's just a misunderstanding, not an intimate act. The fact that I can't explain it is what's frustrating. Honestly, this person, Emperor Roderick, is just instinctively seeking a source of pure energy, because the talismans I make are also like a source of pure energy. After living in a gloomy atmosphere for a long time, he is now struggling to find a comfortable place. Haley frowned and said, over there, bring me a blanket. The three on the other side immediately served. Right away. I'm getting tired now too. This isn't as energy-consuming as writing talismans, but I have to concentrate to soothe another person's energy. Getting involved with people like this is really tiring. She looked at him with admiration. So warm. A while later, Roderick woke up from a deep sleep. He was bewildered to see her sleeping soundly beside him. When he saw Zane, he immediately asked, what is this situation? Oh, Your Majesty is awake? I was having tea with the Empress, I remember that. Zane continued, and then you fell asleep right away. Roderick was confused. What? Zane was too shy to explain. Before you fell asleep, the two of you had some intimate actions. How do you want me to say that? Roderick immediately sat up straight. He glanced at her. How can the Empress sleep so comfortably in a place like this? Take her to my room. The servants quickly obeyed. Yes, he instructed coldly. Don't wake her when you move her. His Majesty's bedroom is indeed closer, but... Two other servants started whispering, did nothing really happen on the first night? Isn't their relationship very good? Did they really just sleep? Seeing this, Zane shouted, what are you doing? Hurry up. Yes, I'll go ahead and prepare the room. Roderick was pensive. Again. My physical condition suddenly got better again. What on earth is happening? Haley Duncan? A moment later, Haley suddenly woke up. This place? Is it hell? Can I die just from sleeping? She immediately ran her hand through her hair to check. Pink hair? Fair hands? This is indeed Haley's body. So I'm not dead. Then this place must be the Emperor's room. This is a disaster! She hurriedly shouted, "Is anyone out there?" Deborah immediately rushed in. "Your Majesty the Empress, are you awake?" The Empress fainted and fell asleep, so His Majesty had you brought here. Haley cried silently, stammering, "Why?" Deborah added, "The Emperor instructed me to take you to the nearest room and not to wake you." "Is that so?" "What a strange person. He probably never even thought about me helping him. I thought I would get something in return, like payment. I don't know if helping him was the right thing to do or not, and I forgot to mention the letter." In Haley's diary, the entry for July 7th, year 499, "Father told me to marry the Emperor, but I love Lauren. Doesn't Father love me? I don't want to die." Haley wrote in her diary a lot. This entry was written 3 months ago, but it's all very short and the context is strange. I want to know more about Haley. If it were Haley, what would she do at a time like this? And it seems the Emperor invited me to dine with him today, right? I was quite surprised when he suddenly suggested it. It's been 15 days since we married, but we've never dined together. Just in time, I also want to talk to him about the letter. She stood up and sighed. She placed her hand on the window, looking at the scene outside. She recalled Haley's diary entry. "I don't want to die." She didn't want to die, yet she jumped into the water. Haley really is a fool. I understand. We can't escape our destined fate. We might avoid some minor misfortunes, but we can't change the grand trajectory of our lives. And Haley died because that was her fate. Am I the same? People often say to love your fate, but they are the ones who cannot know what is to come. How many people would truly love their fate if they knew exactly how much pain it would bring? I have never loved my own fate. The next day in the palace garden, Roderick sat at a table, resting his chin on his hand. He wondered, "It seems this is the first time I'm dining with Haley Duncan. I didn't specially invite her here to have a good time or anything." He recalled a few days ago Zane had said, "Your Majesty, Duke Duncan has sent a letter to the Empress." "I have brought a copy of the letter." Roderick asked, "Is there any special content?" "Sir, he wants to bring servants from the ducal estate here. He says he is very worried about the Empress." Roderick read the letter and sighed. A court official sitting next to him said with a laugh, "Anyone can see he's trying to plant his own people in the imperial palace." He sneered. "The Duke knows full well I won't allow it, doesn't he? Is he planning to fight me in such a pointless way?" The court official surmised, "The Empress is a member of the Duncan family and also the Duke's puppet, so the Empress might become the center of attention for the nobility. We need to break that notion first." Roderick mused, That's why I wanted to place a young minor noble lady in the position of Empress. Let's take this opportunity to observe Haley Duncan, to see if she's as innocent a lady as the rumors say. If not," returning to the present, Roderick thought, "But how do I bring this up? No matter what, I will not accept the Duke's proposal." The spirits began to surround him again. Roderick rubbed his head in annoyance. Zane noticed, "His Majesty is not in a good mood today either." He announced, "Her Majesty the Empress has arrived." He looked up, and the red light in his eyes vanished. Haley approached. He watched her intently. Then he stood up, thinking to himself, "Suddenly the air has become so fresh." The moment Haley Duncan entered, the golden sunlight shone on her, making her even more beautiful. Roderick thought, "Every time she takes a step closer, a fresh breeze wafts by. It's as if another world is centered around her. My headache is gone again." He let out a breath. "Ha!" Haley looked at him in surprise. He said, "How strange." She tilted her head, puzzled. "Yes?" "It's nothing. Come here and sit down." She replied, "Yes." A servant guided her. "Your Majesty the Empress, this way, please." Then they both waited for the servants to serve the dishes. Roderick quietly observed her. Suddenly she spoke. "Your Majesty, I have something to say." "What is it? Go ahead." "A few days ago, Duke Duncan, my father, sent a letter." Zane, standing behind, thought in surprise. "I didn't expect the Empress to bring it up first." Roderick asked, "What did the Duke say?" He thought to himself, "She preempted me. I've even forgotten my original purpose." Haley held up the letter and hesitated. "He said he would send people from the ducal estate here, saying it would make me more comfortable. Would you like to see the letter? Although there's nothing particularly special in it, I brought it anyway." "No need." He thought, "Because I've already seen the copy. So what do you want to do?" Haley was surprised. "This time, I have a choice?" "This time, He remembered the time he lifted her chin and said, "At least wear the crown before you die. Then you'll have to die." Something like that did happen, didn't it? He replied to her, All right, do as you wish. Zane was astonished and called out, Your Majesty, in vain. He's already being swayed by the Empress. Roderick acted as if he didn't care about him. At this, Haley hesitated. If so, is the choice this time more fair than that time? He paused, then laughed loudly. You're being too frank. Haley replied sadly, Yes, it seems I was a bit too hasty. I'm truly sorry. Roderick stopped laughing and said, No, it's better now, isn't it? He asked himself, How long has it been since I laughed like this? Girl is truly interesting. He commanded her, Continue speaking. She sighed. I don't know what Haley would do, but first I will say what I'm thinking. I don't want to be caught in the fight between the Duke and the Emperor, nor do I want to take my life in Haley's lightly. She held out the letter and hesitated. I will write a letter to refuse my father. She thought again. So let's see what I will do. He was surprised to hear that. She continued. I have only just arrived at the Imperial Palace, so I think it would not be good to do so. I intend to write my reply like that. Zane breathed a sigh of relief, thinking, Thank goodness, no need to argue with the Duncan family. Roderick silently chided, Seriously, that fool, this is not the time for you to be relieved. At first glance, this answer satisfies everyone here. Obviously, if she had asked for my opinion, I would have refused as well. And no matter what excuse I used, Duncan would have found fault and argued. But the Empress is refusing because of her own circumstances, not because of me. You could say she's repaying a debt to me. Meanwhile, Haley was contemplating. Of course I'll refuse, but it's a bit strange to turn my back on the Duke just like that. I don't know what will happen in this place in the future. Later, I will use the words not yet to have an opportunity to negotiate. Everyone has their own thoughts. She pretended to be naive while taking what she needed. Although she is currently deviating from her father's intentions, that makes her even better politically, more like a Duncan. As expected, the blood flowing in her veins is still very strong, just like her father, isn't it? Where is the naivety? This woman named Haley Duncan is truly interesting, though she seems a bit suspicious. Just then, she spoke up. That is, I've finished speaking. Can we eat now? He froze. Then he smiled and replied, Go ahead and eat. Don't wait for me. She smiled back. Yes. He silently assessed. The more I get to know her, the more interesting I find her. This is a bit dangerous. Is she really Duncan's daughter? Little by little, I'm gradually being drawn in. This isn't good. My hysteria might be getting worse. He suddenly remembered something and spoke up. Oh, right. I don't know if you've heard, but I'll be away this week for a hunt. It's a 3-day, 2-night trip. Is that so? She thought with a start. Wait a minute. Is he really going hunting? No, the first of the 5 precepts of Buddhism is not to kill. This man absolutely must not kill. The reign of Emperor Roderick, the Beast, Hera's bred of Caney. It was a nickname taken from his middle name. He is exactly a mad beast. Of course, this negative rumor stemmed from his hysteria. Aware of his uncontrollable desire to kill, Roderick initiated hunts to restrain it. He is recorded as the emperor who hunted the most in the empire's history in just a few years, but he has no idea that this is pushing him closer to the edge. I understand his feelings, but hunting doesn't help at all. The more blood he sees, the more karma he accumulates, and those spirits will harass him even more. She looked at Roderick on his horse, surrounded by a black aura. He asked, Have the provisions been checked? A soldier replied, It's done. It's really not good if he keeps killing. I want to tell him that, but if he hears it, both His Majesty and the knights will find it absurd. I don't want to say things that won't help. At that moment, Roderick glanced at her. He called, Haley Duncan. She replied, Yes. Do you have nothing to say to me? She thought, outside the Imperial Palace, they follow him less than usual, right? How about a picnic instead of a hunt? She asked him back, what am I supposed to say? Or you could ask me to bring something back. She replied, I don't need anything. She said silently, Don't kill any animals. He asked again, How about wishing me a safe trip? Haley hesitated. Be careful. She refuted in her mind, Don't you go anywhere. He nodded. All right. She was surprised. What is it? Am I supposed to say something else? He pointed in one direction and asked her, Aren't you going to do as they do? She looked in confusion. Over there? Haley saw a soldier gently touching a maid's cheek. Then the two kissed passionately, which greatly surprised her. Deborah looked at her with a meaningful gaze. As for her, she blushed with embarrassment, thinking in horror, He's telling me to do that? Such a bold kiss? Suddenly, a laugh rang out. Roderick, on his horse, was trying to suppress his laughter. I was just kidding. Kidding? He teased. Haley, your mouth is hanging open so wide it's frozen. Close your mouth, it's ridiculous, but you're fine like that. I know. Go and come back and don't get hurt anywhere. I know. she muttered under her breath. So annoying. He tightened his grip on the reins. Well then, he leaned down and whispered to her, don't go near any places with water. Roderick and Haley's eyes met. Both of them paused for a moment. He raised his head decisively and asked, understood? She wondered, is he afraid I'll jump into the water again like Haley did? He means don't willingly seek death again, right? My ears, why are they burning? At this moment he said, I'm leaving. Then he spurred his horse and gave the order to depart. Haley watched Roderick's retreating back, shrouded in black smoke. She worriedly asked herself, really, will it be all right? By evening, soldiers spurred their horses, chasing after Roderick. One shouted, Your Majesty, Emperor Roderick! Don't chase after them anymore. The forest path at night is very dangerous. Roderick finished off an animal with his sword. A soldier called out, Your Majesty. He realized with a daze, it's so dark. I can't hear any sounds. I'm not that kind of person. I can't do these things. If I do, the people of this empire. At that moment, Roderick continued to spur his horse forward. At times like these, if only she were by my side. The spirits constantly urged, Kill them now! He sneered. A loud roar echoed, causing the entire group to stop. Zane quickly pulled on the reins, swallowing nervously in fear. The soldiers following behind were also scared. Zane saw His Majesty's horse was empty and quickly looked around. A soldier remarked, He's so out of breath, yet he's still slashing so fiercely. Truly admirable. Zane looked at Roderick's terrifying appearance. He wondered, why has His Majesty changed into such a different person? Is there really no hope left? He suddenly widened his eyes in surprise, because he recognized the animal standing right in front of Roderick. A bear! Zane quickly ordered, Shoot now! Your Majesty, get away from there! Your Majesty! Roderick didn't react. He stood still, seemingly ready to take the bear's attack. His vision blurred. So dark. Then he closed his eyes. A loud roar echoed. At the Imperial Palace, Haley lay in bed, tossing and turning. I can't sleep. If he kills, his condition will get worse. Is he okay? Is something wrong? Why am I so worried? Seriously, maybe I'll take a short walk? I'll be quiet. I don't want to wake him. She looked at the little spirit sleeping soundly on the box. A moment later, Haley went outside, looked up at the moon, and marveled. The moon is so bright. Is there a garden over here too? The Imperial Palace is so big. She walked to a large set of stairs and realized, there's a lake. Haley suddenly remembered Roderick's warning. Don't go near places with water. She muttered, even if you pushed me, I wouldn't go near any water. Anyway, I don't know if it's because I've been told my whole life not to go near a certain place, but I just want to stand here and stare at it. She sat down on a step, quietly admiring the surrounding scenery. She propped her chin on her hand, bored. A strong gust of wind made her let out a small cry. She suddenly froze. This energy? The spirit of the knight in white appeared beside her. Haley recognized it as the spirit she had seen at the wedding. The knight dismounted, surprising her. Why did he get down? Oh my, he's even sitting next to me. Go play somewhere else. Oh my god, the energy is amazing. Even the deity Grandma Yongsan used to worship wasn't on this level. With just this, those evil spirits won't be able to follow me. The knight gave a faint smile and asked, You can see me, can't you? Seeing her just trembling, he affirmed, You can see me, can't you? Haley thought in panic. Don't talk as if it's a matter of course. I'm human, and you're a spirit. Even if you're a god, you're still a spirit. Should I just stand up and leave? Would that be better? Okay, let's go. Suddenly the knight asked, You're not really Haley Duncan, are you? She froze. What does it matter if a spirit knows I'm Kang Yize? If they're high level, of course they'd see through it. Just ignore him. I almost reacted. The knight suddenly said, Roderick is on his way back now. It seems he's injured. She told herself, Not listening, not listening. He continued, deliberately provoking her. If he's seriously injured like that, how will there be an heir? What if he dies just like that? She shot up, wondering, is he really that badly hurt? The knight smiled faintly. I knew you could hear me. Haley shouted in anger. Are you kidding me? Joking with a person's life? Why would you do that? She silently recalled the criticisms from long ago. Kang Yize is acting strangely again. She questioned the knight. Are you always like this? Are humans so insignificant to you? He sighed and replied, Don't be so hot-headed. It's true that Roderick is injured. Haley shouted again, If you're lying! Suddenly, she fell to her knees, muttering sadly, I can't do anything to you anyway. The knight's figure gradually faded. He smiled and reminded her, If you want to go, then go quickly. If you run now, you might be able to meet him. Haley silently watched the knight disappear. She told herself, I have to get back to the Imperial Palace immediately. I have to go to where he is. At that moment, outside the Imperial Palace, Zane spurred his horse while shouting, "Your Majesty, we can see the Imperial Palace. Please hold on a little longer." "Just a little more, Your Majesty." Roderick's vision grew dark. He thought to himself, "It's so dark. Please, someone, help." In the darkness, Haley was running forward relentlessly. The smell of blood. Seeing the scene before her, she softly uttered, "Ah, he really came back." Ahead, many people were supporting Roderick. The scene was utterly chaotic. "We've arrived, Your Majesty. Call a doctor quickly." Seeing the spirits surrounding him, she was quite scared. Where did so many of them come from? Unbelievable. Someone on the other side shouted, "Take His Majesty to his bedroom and call a doctor immediately." Hearing that, she became even more frantic, her running speed increasing. Bedroom? Not there. Why let him recover in that haunted house? An image of the bed surrounded by many spirits appeared in her mind. What should I do? What should I do now? That's it. She ran back to her bedroom, flinging the door open. The action startled the white spirit. Haley ran over and flipped a painting on the wall. The spirit saw her do this and shouted in alarm from behind, "Yeezy, what are you doing?" She paid it no mind and continued to search for something under the bed. It stood beside her, constantly asking, "Hey, if you take those things out, those scary things will get into the room." After getting what she needed, Haley rushed off. "I'm sorry, but I'm in a hurry right now. I'll put it back later. For now, just hide in your house." Hearing her words, it burst into tears and complained, "I hate Yeezy. I just woke up and I'm already shocked." She ran like the wind. When his mind and body are weakened, the vengeful spirits will become stronger and more persistent. So if he's really injured to the point of being life-threatening, then this much will definitely be enough. Many servants were waiting outside Roderick's room. Haley ran towards them from a distance and overheard their gossip. "Is he going mad again? He slashed all the prey. I heard he wouldn't even let go of his bloody sword. If you get too close, you might get killed." She rushed towards the crowd, saying loudly, "I want to pass through. Could you please make way?" Seeing her, everyone was surprised. "Your Majesty the Empress." Deborah quickly stepped forward to stop her, advising, "When did you get here? Please return to your bedroom." Haley said very urgently to her, "Deborah, I am the Empress. Can I go wherever I want?" Hearing her say that, her face changed. "That is true, but right now—" A doctor ran up, shouting, "Out of the way! Out of the way! The doctor is here! Let me through!" Hearing that, someone replied, "Doctor, come quickly." Haley also took the opportunity to follow the doctor into the room. Seeing her action, Deborah shouted from behind, "Your Majesty the Empress!" She was stunned by the scene before her. In the room, Roderick lay unconscious on the bed, surrounded by many doctors. The room was filled with evil spirits, constantly urging, "Kill! Kill them, Roderick!" Haley covered her mouth in shock. "The atmosphere is terrifying." A knight noticed her. "Your Majesty the Empress." He thought to himself, why was she allowed in here? He walked towards her and offered a handkerchief. "The smell of blood is strong, isn't it? Please use this to cover up." She covered her mouth with her hand and replied, "No, I don't need it. It's not because of the smell of blood. It's because this atmosphere is too dreadful." She noticed his wound. "Oh, he's injured, but it's not that serious and certainly not life-threatening." Finally, she vaguely realized something. She lowered her head helplessly, the smug smile of that knight appearing in her mind. Could it be I was tricked? That horse rider dared to trick me? And I believed the joke of a spirit. What a fool Kang Yees. Suddenly, Roderick, who had been motionless on the bed, reacted. He said weakly, "Hill." She, sitting beside him, couldn't hear clearly. "Ah, what is he saying?" Roderick kept mumbling, "Kill them. Kill them now." The surrounding spirits constantly bewitched his mind. "Kill them, Roderick!" He could do little more than lie still and listen to the words in his ear. "Kill them. Kill. Roderick's hand holding the sword suddenly shot up, terrifying everyone around him. The doctor saw this and quickly hid behind the knight. Hey! Haley bit her lip, her face showing a pained expression. If a wound in the soul is also called a wound, then no one knows the cause and no one can treat it. He alone has to endure it. Haley took hold of that bloody hand. The guard saw this and tried to stop her. "Empress, it's dangerous." She ignored his words. "Your Majesty, are you all right?" Roderick glanced at her, not answering. She looked into his eyes and assessed. He's just opening his eyes, but he's no longer conscious. These spirits have grown stronger. They definitely won't retreat. They continue to interfere. Kill him now. She gripped his hand tightly and began to use her power. The first rule of battle is suppression. Her power radiated throughout the room. Evil cannot defeat good. Refute the falsehoods to reveal the truth. Those spirits were affected by her power and also threatened. "It's you again? Even if you bother us, we won't give up." Hearing that, Haley smirked faintly. All right, let's see. I had decided not to pay attention to these spirits anymore, so what am I doing now? But the spirits continued to harass him from all around. Kill it now! Her eyes showed determination. I'm the only one here, because I'm the only one who can help this man. I won't back down anymore. You spirits, return to where you belong. Be gone. The space in the room fell into chaos. In another space, Roderick thought to himself, it's so dark. I can't see anything and I can't hear anything. Is there no other way? Am I to become a mad emperor just like this? Can I not escape this darkness? A beam of light shone down on him. Light. How? He looked at the small speck of light in front of him and started walking towards it. Someone is calling me. Until now, it has only ever been me. Whose voice is that? He reached his hand towards the light. On this side, Haley's voice continued to ring out. Your Majesty! Your Majesty, are you all right? Can you hear my voice? Can you see everything clearly now? The few remaining evil spirits cursed. Damn it, you wretched woman! I could have... Before it could finish cursing, it gradually faded and disappeared completely. The atmosphere also became quieter. Haley also loosened Roderick's grip on his sword. She skillfully removed the sword from his hand. She reassured him with relief. It's all right now. Roderick was exhausted after just escaping temptation. Drenched in sweat, he stared motionlessly at Haley's beautiful face. Zane picked up the sword from the ground, startling the terrified doctor. He rushed over to explain, this is not a major injury. Haley also breathed a sigh of relief hearing that. As I thought, thank goodness. Because she had used so much energy to suppress those spirits, she was now nearly exhausted. Ha! I used too much energy. Suddenly, Roderick spoke. Why did you come here? The question made her look up in surprise. I don't know why I came here either. It's not like I'm not scared. Her hand unconsciously gripped his and then let go. But at least he should say thank you for coming. No. Why am I feeling sad for someone who is sick and lying here like this? He must be very tired. I should let him rest. Then she stood up and said, you are conscious again, so I will take my leave. I might interfere with the treatment. Just then, Roderick suddenly grabbed her hand tightly. He whispered, don't go. Please stay a little longer. Zane and the servants were bewildered. He's suddenly become so gentle I don't even recognize him. Ever since the Empress came here, it's been like a miracle. Her hand being suddenly held, Haley's heart pounded and her face flushed. What's wrong with my heart? She hid her emotions, stammering, your hand is injured, you shouldn't use your strength. Hearing that, Roderick looked visibly sad. That made her flustered. I knew something would happen when you left. She flailed, hitting him lightly while scolding. Next time, you're not allowed to go hunting anymore. The butler and Deborah shouted in fear, trying to stop her. Empress, your Majesty! Haley still maintained an indignant expression. Roderick asked, why? Why can't I go anymore? Haley yelled again, because I love animals very much. I'm going crazy. He burst out laughing. Keep talking. This is actually making me more alert. It's so funny. Zane and the headmaid stood to one side, sighing at this childish behavior. I don't understand. It seems the Empress was so shocked she went mad. It's also quite cute. Roderick gestured with his hand. Everyone has worked hard, you may all leave. Leave the Empress. The servants immediately withdrew and closed the door. Yes, yes, your Majesty. Now only she and Roderick were in the room. Only now did she feel embarrassed. Crazy, I'm going crazy, Kang Yeezy. What are you doing? Why have I been acting so abnormally lately? She trembled. Suddenly, Roderick spoke. I saw a light in the darkness. Haley didn't understand and asked, yes? Roderick continued. Then I reached out my hand, and it was you who took my hand. Just like this. Haley took his hand again, thinking to herself, did he dream that when I was chasing away those spirits? Roderick closed his eyes and sighed. You must have been very scared when you came here. I don't want to say too much, but you need to know that. Actually, there's nothing else to be done. Haley Duncan, it may sound irresponsible and incompetent, but there is nothing else I can do. Haley immediately understood. This man... So he also knows what has happened to him and knows how terrifying that crowd is. And yet those eyes are still so clear. Are these really the eyes of someone who has done dozens of evil deeds? She silently asked the original Haley, what should I do? This is not good. This is really not good. I can no longer pretend I don't know this man is gradually falling apart. Roderick asked, are you angry because this has bothered you? She asked back, do I look like I'm angry? Yes. Why wouldn't you be? You're a Duncan and the Empress. If you're not angry, then let's talk a little more. I don't know why, but when I hear your voice, I feel more clear-headed. Haley smiled, thinking to herself, that's because of the talisman and the beads I'm carrying, not because of my voice. I know. If you don't find it interesting, You can't blame me. All right, well then. So that whole night, Haley sat by his bed telling him stories. 2 days later, I heard the Empress has fallen ill again. Duke Duncan was furious. A frail person like her cannot live in the luxurious imperial palace, so please allow her close servants from the estate to come here. Roderick frowned in annoyance. Bringing that up again, Haley Duncan is too weak. In truth, Haley wasn't weak at all. At this moment, she was putting all her effort into drawing talismans. She had fallen ill because she had used all her strength to restore the barrier. Back in the meeting room, Roderick wasn't too concerned. This issue depends on whether the Empress wants it or not. The Duke countered. With her personality, how could she directly request such a thing? Roderick reminded him. Before, Haley was your daughter, but now she has become the Empress of the Caney Empire, so address her properly. Please forgive my rudeness. I have been very worried about the Empress since she was a child. Ah yes, because she is your beloved daughter, right? Roderick was indignant. And yet you beat her. If this continues, the Empress's honor will fall to rock bottom. Roderick slammed his hand on the table. Normally I wouldn't care and would just object immediately. This is so annoying. The Duke proposed, Your Majesty, I will meet and speak with the Empress directly. Please grant me an audience. Roderick saw right through him. The Empress is fragile and weak. She'll listen to her father as soon as she sees him. With that expression, that's what he's thinking, isn't it? And everyone else thinks so too, right? How strange, Haley Duncan. Why does everyone underestimate you so much? He remembered how she had comforted and reassured him all night. It's all right now. Thinking of this, Roderick let out a chuckle. Who would stop someone from having an audience with the Empress? I don't understand why you're even asking this. Hearing this, Zane was surprised. Your Majesty! Roderick, as if certain of victory, smiled comfortably. Why don't you do as you wish? But she's not the easy type, you know. After the meeting, Roderick walked out with Zane and the butler. Zane immediately complained. And you're letting Duke Duncan have an audience with the Empress? Are you planning to surrender to the Duke? If the Duke insists on something, the Empress will definitely do as he says. Roderick replied nonchalantly. Just watch, Zane. Are you really doing your job well? I told you to investigate Haley Duncan before. Yes. Last time, he had reported, the young lady has an innocent and pure personality, still immature, with a reputation for being very obedient to her parents, sometimes even called a moving flower vase. I really can't believe those words, what a lie. At the same time, the two of them arrived at the door to Haley's room. Roderick signaled for the guard to step aside. Zane still followed awkwardly. Where was I wrong? He affirmed again. I told you it was wrong. The two entered. He spoke up to inquire, Empress, how is your condition? Haley, lying in bed, was a little surprised. Ah, Your Majesty. The small blue spirit on her pillow panicked. Emperor Roderick has brought that scary crowd here again. He walked closer. Just stay there. You don't need to sit up. Suddenly he stopped. It turned out he had stepped into the barrier, preventing the demons from following him. They pounded relentlessly on the barrier. Roderick was bewildered, a question mark over his head. Why do I suddenly feel so light? Seeing this, Haley breathed a sigh of relief in her heart. She and the little spirit were very happy. The effort has paid off. I spent 10 years running errands for Grandma Yongsan, and she finally became a great sorceress. As expected, she's #1 in this field. She silently pictured her grandmother's frowning face, then smiled happily. You've still got a long way to go. Roderick pulled up a chair and sat down. You just got better, and now you're sick again. Are you taking revenge on me for going hunting? She clicked her tongue in frustration, silently cursing. It's all your fault, you know. She asked, Revenge? Your father is going mad and demanding to send people from his estate. Imagining the scene of Duke Duncan shouting, Do as I say! She couldn't help but laugh. Roderick propped his hand on his chin, teasing. The more you laugh like that, the more you look like a cunning child. She quickly covered her mouth. Oops, my bad. He thought to himself, pale skin, extremely weak body. I'm entrusting them to you. Those people from the Duncan household, I will entrust them to you. Zane, standing behind, was astonished. Isn't this the time to threaten her that she's not allowed to? Haley was also a bit surprised. Your Majesty is giving me a choice again? That's right. Why are you doing this? I don't know either. Because I need to see her reaction. Is that all there is to it? Haley sighed, thinking to herself, the self-deception that I have the right to decide is so sweet. But this question, like the crown, I have no choice here. She stated firmly, I will write another letter of refusal. This time, I will write it more clearly. Roderick turned to Zane, his expression saying, See? I was right, wasn't I? Zane wondered, why is he looking at me like that? He tilted his head and thought, Why don't I feel the difference? This isn't the attitude of someone who would accept something out of fear. I don't understand her intentions anymore. Suddenly he noticed a strange object on the table. He froze. That thing, is it still here? What are you plotting? She replied innocently. Yes? Asking what you're plotting. The people standing behind were speechless. Roderick's face darkened with embarrassment. Are you trying to protest something? The surrounding servants were even more embarrassed. They blushed and gossiped. It's possible? Probably because nothing happened on the first night. Maybe they're cultivating their marital feelings. Haley innocently picked up the piece of wood. This is just my hobby. The dirty-minded servants blushed even more. Hobby? What kind of hobby? A hobby for the night? She held out her hand, showing off her bracelet. I made this bracelet too. I'm good with a knife, but I need to trim it a little more. So can you return my knife? It's not dangerous. Roderick's face was blank, but his mind was still on the piece of wood. What kind of bracelet is so strange? Does it really need to be trimmed smaller? That stick? Haley nodded. Yes, that's right. He blurted out. It's just that I usually like bigger things. No, that's fine. Meanwhile, the servants over there were all eavesdropping. Haley picked it up. But just because it's big doesn't mean it's good to use. The strangely shaped piece of wood made it impossible not to imagine dark things. Roderick was no exception. He grimaced, thinking to himself, that's true, but mine is much bigger than that thing. The servants behind him seemed to understand, jumping up and cursing silently. Pervert. Roderick corrected himself. No. Although I don't know what that thing is. It's so ugly I don't want to see it at all. Get rid of it. Haley replied dejectedly. Yes, she said to herself. A Jangsung doesn't need to be beautiful. Deborah, face beet red, forced a smile and brought the medicine. Empress, it's time for your medicine. Yes, I know, he thought. She's so strange. Haley was like a timid child, still afraid of the bitter taste of the medicine. He felt the atmosphere here was very gentle. Then he grew drowsy and gradually fell asleep. Haley, who was drinking her medicine, turned to him. Huh? She called out. Your Majesty? Zane and the butler were extremely surprised. Is he sleeping? What happened to his severe insomnia? None of the sleeping aids worked. Is he just comfortable when he's with the Empress? Are the rumors true? Does the Duncan bloodline really have some kind of power? Haley called out awkwardly. Over there, sleeping like that isn't good for your body. She reached out her hand to wake him. Please wake up. At that moment, Roderick suddenly woke up. He was startled to realize he had been asleep. Unbelievable. Did I fall asleep? No one around him answered. To just fall asleep while thinking. He looked over at the flustered Haley. Then he rubbed his head. I don't know why, but I feel like I could sleep very well right now. Immediately after, Roderick approached the bed. Haley Duncan, move over a bit. She was slightly surprised. Huh? Yes. Let me lie next to you. Haley was flustered, stammering nonsense. Yes, what? Wait. She screamed for everyone to help. Deborah! Zane! Deborah misunderstood her and immediately pushed everyone out of the room, not forgetting to leave a comment. Have a good time, you two. At this point, Roderick had climbed completely onto the bed. So sleepy. Haley was hopeless. She could only scream in her heart, go sleep in your own room. I really want to say that, but that place is full of ghosts, like a haunted house. He can't sleep there. He requested comfortably, I won't do anything, so just let me borrow the bed for a bit. I'm only like this because I really can't sleep. With no other choice, she passed him the pillow. Here's a pillow. Roderick closed his eyes. All right, you use it. Haley was embarrassed. I'm here, right here. Haley lay down, facing him. You said you would support my love, yet you're lying next to me like this? Hearing this, he laughed heartily. That's cute, but I don't think you should say that in front of your husband. Yes, that's true. I'm sorry, I was a bit annoyed, so I was just fooling around. He reminded her with a smile. You should sleep too, you're not well. Yes, you sleep too. She closed her eyes. I really am still tired. Time to sleep now. Suddenly a voice spoke up. About the first night. I'm sorry. She sleepily opened her eyes, meeting his gaze, staring intently at her. Her face flushed and her heart raced. That startled me. Since when has he been looking at me? What did he apologize for just now? What is he talking about? Roderick explained shyly. That time, I didn't intentionally tear your dress like that. Although this may not sound believable. Haley was a bit dazed, not understanding what he was talking about. What is he saying? Roderick continued. If I'm violent with you, don't just sit there and endure it. You can call Zane or the others. She finally understood. Could it be the time I tore my nightgown to write a talisman? She spoke up to reassure him. Your Majesty did not do that. She thought to herself. He really didn't. It seems he's been very concerned about that. Roderick smiled with satisfaction. I know. Go to sleep, don't stare at me like that anymore. Haley didn't answer, keeping her thoughts to herself. What do you know? It's clear you don't believe me, but I can't tell the whole truth either. He wouldn't believe it. The fact that he's being followed by spirits and hurting others, it seems there's more to it. Honestly, my own situation is in upheaval right now. So why do I feel pity for a man as tall and strong as him? She gradually drifted off to sleep. Good night. The next morning, the sun was high in the sky. The servants in the palace had already begun their work. Meanwhile, Haley was fast asleep when she suddenly felt uncomfortable. I can't breathe. It's so stuffy. She slowly opened her eyes. What is it? My body feels so heavy. It turned out Roderick was unconsciously hugging her tightly. Haley panicked. What is this? He said he wouldn't do anything. She tried to wriggle her body. I can't even move. Haley tried to calm herself down. You really can't trust the words of ghosts and men. Wait, calm down, calm down. This is Emperor Roderick. He's only doing this because he's had a comfortable sleep for the first time in a while. To this man, I'm just a human body pillow, a sleep aid, that's all it is. Suddenly, he pulled her head into his chest. His gentle, warm breath fanned across Haley's hair, making her restless. She told herself, think properly, think properly. This person is a patient, Yize. Even if he's my husband or whatever, he's still a patient. I can't have strange thoughts. I must count sheep. 1 sheep, 2 sheep. Suddenly, Roderick wrapped his leg around her, making their position even more awkward. We're touching! We touched! We're touching! Haley became more and more flustered. Must count sheep. She even imagined 2 sheep kissing. Wait, what are they doing? Even the sheep have been corrupted? Could it be, this is my chance to escape the fate of a virgin ghost and enjoy a prosperous life before I die? Now? Is now the time? Should I just commit the crime like this? Unexpectedly, Roderick wrapped his arm around her waist. She almost couldn't hold back. Where are you touching? As I thought, now is not the time. But in the end, she had to speak up. Your Majesty, could you move a little? Please. And yet not only did he not stop, he even threaded his hand into her hair, hugging her even tighter with such natural ease. His breath fanned across the nape of her neck, making Haley scream. Don't breathe there, she panicked. No, this won't do. I can't take it anymore. She screamed in Roderick's face and pounded on his chest. I'm suffocating. Let me go. Finally, Roderick woke up and realized the awkward situation. This position was too difficult. He was so startled he almost fell backward. Meanwhile, Haley shyly pulled the blanket over her face and turned away. Roderick asked himself, this situation, could it be that He started to apologize. Haley? Suddenly, he moved forward and threw the blanket off her, making Haley scream in alarm. What are you doing? Roderick realized, the dress isn't torn. Then he slumped down in a corner of the bed, covering his face and saying, I'm sorry. He bowed before her. I'm sorry, Haley. Were you very surprised? She turned to him with teary eyes as if about to cry, which frightened Roderick. I'm leaving right now. You just rest comfortably, okay? But seeing she still didn't look satisfied, he quickly turned back. Haley, Haley, answer me. He touched her forehead. Are you going to stop talking to me now? He wondered, is she a child? Are you like this because you were so scared? No, it's not because I was scared. I was just surprised. My body is all hot. My heart is racing. Every place he touched feels tingly. It surprised me so much. Unlike usual, he's incredibly gentle now, so I want to act a little childish, because I've never done that before. Roderick said repeatedly, I'm really sorry, I'm leaving. Go to sleep. She covered her face in confusion. It seems my heart is still tingling. What is this feeling? I don't think I can go back to sleep. Many days had passed since that embarrassing incident occurred. Roderick was busy with work, but his heart was still uneasy when he thought of Haley. The servants began to gossip. It's been over 10 days since the Emperor last visited the Empress. What on earth happened? Why are you asking me that? He was troubled, constantly resting his chin on his hand. The Empress didn't seem comfortable, so I've been avoiding seeing her. But wasn't that reaction a bit of an overreaction? She screamed, you beast, in my face. Roderick felt annoyed. But since we're married, won't we be doing much more than that in the future? What will we do then? He sighed. But it's true. The Empress doesn't want this marriage. The butler came to announce, Your Majesty, the products from the mining area have arrived. I hear there are many beautiful gemstones this year. The box was opened, and inside were several pieces of jewelry meticulously crafted by skilled artisans. A bracelet? Roderick asked his attendant. Zane, have you seen the bracelet the Empress is wearing? He recalled it and silently commented, "It's hideous." But of course he had to answer, "Yes, I have." Roderick said, "That is a masterpiece. I can't even tell if that thing is behind the trend or ahead of its time." Zane was confused. Why is His Majesty picking a fight with the Empress when she's just sitting there quietly? How am I supposed to answer this? He remembered the moment that girl excitedly showed off her bracelet. "I made this bracelet too." Zane was surprised. Was he just joking and not criticizing? But rather than picking a fight, he seems more like he's being grumpy with someone he's interested in. What on earth happened? Roderick turned and asked, "Butler, where was this sent from?" In another development, Haley was busy searching in the vast library. "I'm looking for the royal family tree. Is it this book?" The librarian replied, "Your Highness, only the royal family is allowed to view that. I will bring another record for you." She looked surprised. "But I am His Majesty's partner, the Empress. Are you saying I'm not royalty?" "I didn't mean that at all. That is a record written by a few members of the royal family who have memorized it. So it would be better for the Empress to read another version." Then he quickly knelt down. "I have committed a capital crime." Haley quickly reassured him. "No, it's not that serious. Is it a secret language or something? Could it be Latin? Then I'll just take a look. I'll look at it very carefully and then return it to you." The manager was worried. "She noticed what I said just now. What should I do?" Having settled the matter of the book, Haley quickly brought it back to her room. "Spirit, come here, help me read this book. Can you read this language?" It stammered. Yes." After reading a few lines, the spirit whined. "I don't wanna. I only read books that Yeez understands. This is too much trouble." Haley pleaded, "Secret records like this are closer to the truth." It argued back, "But you haven't even finished reading this one," and pointed to Haley's diary. She recalled, "Because I can't live in this place without Haley's memories, I decided to read her diary. Day X, month Y. There are 7 frogs in the garden. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Day Z, month W. Some pictures of cream puffs. I really like cream puffs." What did I expect from her? She was disappointed. This is useless. Our tastes are also completely different. I don't even know what she's talking about. I have to find another way. She lamented, "I set up a barrier and placed talismans so those scary things can't get into the room, and you can't even read a book for me? I'm so sad." The spirit jumped on the book. "There's no other way. I have to read it?" It read aloud. "The first emperor, Arthur Luxbrecht, passed away at the age of 38. He was victorious against the Diamond Empire, an empire that ruled the continent with evil magic, using the holy sword." She wondered, evil magic? A holy sword? It sounds like a fairy tale. The fourth emperor, Ryan Blake. To commemorate the 100th anniversary of the empire's founding, he established relations with the Mellon, Russell, and Duncan clans to promote the unity of the races. Haley wondered, so the Duncans were originally a different race? It continued reading through the generations of emperors. By the 19th it whined, "Yais, this is so boring. Should we stop?" She refused. "No, you have nothing else to do." The spirit had no choice but to continue. The 27th emperor, Roderick Perosbrecht, was born in the year 470 and ascended the throne in the year 497 of the Caney calendar. At this point, it shouted, "Done!" She asked in surprise, "Why is His Majesty's entry so short?" It replied, "Perhaps because he is still reigning. Usually, a king's achievements are recorded by his successor." Haley nodded. "Ah, I see. Born in the year 470, it is now the year 499. His Majesty is already 29 years old, 4 years older than my real age and 8 years older than Haley." She covered her mouth and smiled. "So that's why he sometimes treats me like a child. It has been 500 years since the empire was founded, and 10 years since the people began to face great calamities. This year is a year of compounded difficulties for the Caney Empire and Emperor Roderick. Coincidentally, in this year, Empress Haley died and my soul, a person from another world, entered her body. Could this be a strange arrangement of heaven's will?" The spirit asked her, "But Yee's Emperor Roderick hasn't come here lately, has he?" "I'm so happy that person isn't coming. There's nothing scary, only peace remains." She didn't answer it, telling herself, "I've been trying not to think about it. Could it be that I made him uncomfortable that day so he doesn't want to see me anymore? Actually, I didn't hate what happened that day, I was just so surprised." Unpleasant memories resurfaced. That girl has no parents. She sees ghosts. She reassured herself, "It's okay. I'm used to being ignored." The next day, "You could have returned the book for me." "No need, Deborah. It's on my way as I stroll around the Imperial Palace." Suddenly, there was a loud noise from up ahead. "Ah, Emperor Roderick." He was practicing swordsmanship. It's been a long time since I've seen him. What is this? Why is my heart suddenly beating so fast? A servant said. The Emperor and Sir Zane had the same teacher. They are very close, so they often practiced swordsmanship together before His Majesty ascended the throne. It's been a long time since I've seen them like this. She was engrossed in watching Roderick. They're like two graceful beasts. They both have very beautiful physiques. Every time His Majesty moves, his energy is very neat. Could it be that doing something with a close friend can help improve his energy? He needs to interact with Zane more like this for it to be good. I have to go. He probably doesn't want to see me. Just then, Roderick finished his practice session and was wiping off his sweat. He suddenly ran over and grabbed Haley's arm, startling her. He was quite far from me just now. Unbelievable. He reproached her loudly. Why are you leaving, Haley Duncan? Where are you going? She stammered. I was on my way back to my room, Your Majesty. He looked annoyed. Why are you using such formal language? Just talk normally. She thought, it's because I thought you were avoiding me that I kept my distance. But outwardly, she replied, yes, I understand. Roderick was satisfied. Good. The conversation suddenly came to a standstill. She wondered, does he want me to say something else? Well then, you continue your practice and I'll go back to my room. He still held her hand tightly. Do you have to go right now? Haley nodded. Yes. He ran his hand through his hair in frustration. Only a Duncan would act like this. You really know how to annoy people. Seeing her annoyed expression, he quickly reassured her. I'm not talking about you. But of course, Haley didn't believe him. You're talking about me, aren't you? Roderick held up the newly gifted bracelet in front of her. Here. Haley was surprised, taking it with both hands. This is a bracelet? Is this for me? He explained. Because the bracelet you're wearing isn't pretty at all. She was bewildered. Yes? No, why would Your Majesty judge someone else's taste like that? Zane laughed loudly from behind. Haley called out, Zane! Normally, His Majesty wouldn't even glance at gemstones, but when he saw that bracelet, he immediately mentioned the Empress and brought it along. Roderick chided, You're being too loud, Zane. But Haley found it very cute. So he's the type who isn't good at expressing his feelings. He has a cute side to him, doesn't he? She gave a bright smile. Thank you, Your Majesty. But he only responded with a cold gaze. Then he handed the wooden sword to a servant. Let's go. Haley was surprised. Yes, we're continuing to my room. She was a bit bewildered. Is it all right for you to stop practicing? It's fine. Knowing your opponent's moves too well gets boring. Zane pouted. Is Your Majesty just casting me aside like that? You said you were going to take your anger out on me. Haley thought happily. Is this what you call being best friends? I'm not so sure, since he's surrounded by spirits and doesn't have any friends. Seeing His Majesty and Zane together is really nice. He urged her let's get going. Haley nodded. I know. Please stop pushing. A servant said happily, It's true that a married couple's quarrel never lasts. Zane, however, sighed. Finally, the session of His Majesty taking out his anger must come to an end. Roderick asked with concern, Are you well now? Yes, I'm more or less better. He suddenly got grumpy. Someone asks about your health and you don't ask back. That's not very polite. She was surprised. Why is he attacking me so much today? She stammered. So are you well? Actually, I haven't seen you lately, so I was curious how you've been. I didn't come to see you because I was afraid you would feel uncomfortable. She wondered, so it wasn't because His Majesty felt uncomfortable around me? Haley asked him back. Me? He pouted. You looked at me like I was an insect that day. I was hurt too, you know. I'm just saying. She laughed loudly. When did I look at you like that? It was only because I was surprised. Haley breathed a sigh of relief. So it's not because he hates me. Roderick said coolly, As long as you weren't, and thought to himself, avoiding her was pointless. Seeing her still wearing the old bracelet alongside the one he just gave her, he wondered, You don't like that bracelet? Haley waved her hand. That's not it. I do like it, thank you. Carving my own bracelets is my hobby. I put all my heart into it, Your Majesty. He was curious. Your hobbies are quite special. She nodded. That's why, Your Majesty, please stop judging my taste and show some respect. He playfully tapped her head. All right, I know. This made Haley a little annoyed. Go away! She sighed in relief. As expected, the prayer beads are better than a normal bracelet. Roderick kneaded his shoulder. I feel like my shoulders suddenly feel lighter. He asked, Anyway, I heard you borrowed the royal family tree records. Were you able to read that book? It seems to be written in characters you've never learned. She thought, there are others who can read it. Could it be that because I'm a Duncan, I'm not allowed to read it? She explained to him, Not at all. I was just curious, so I took it out to look at it. So even my small actions are being reported. It's because I'm the enemy's daughter, isn't it? I need to be more careful. In truth, him finding out about this wasn't entirely intentional. The librarian had told him in a fluster, I misspoke to the Empress when she borrowed the book. I'm afraid the Empress will take notice of my words. She is not of the royal family. The Empress might not want to stay in the palace anymore. At this moment, he asked, in the Imperial Palace, there is a place called the Arthur Forest. Have you heard of it? Haley was surprised. We were talking about the royal family tree. Why did he suddenly… Arthur Forest. I feel like I've vaguely heard of it before. Perhaps it's a memory of Haley's. It seems to be getting harder to recall and distinguish memories lately. He informed her, it is a sacred forest that has existed since the founding of the nation. No noble or manager can enter it. Only the royal family is allowed. Roderick proactively extended an invitation. Do you want to go? Haley placed her hand in his. Yes. As soon as she stepped in, she was overwhelmed by the majestic beauty of the forest. Oh my God! This is the first time I've been to a place so full of sacred life force. I almost knelt down and expressed all my devotion. How can it be this amazing? Compared to the deity that Grandma Yongsan used to worship, the life force here is many times stronger. Roderick asked with concern. Is it not beautiful because it's too dark? You don't look well. Haley was surprised. Can't he see this forest is filled with an unreal light? Does this person really not feel anything? He's a bit dense. He suggested, let's go back. Of course, she disagreed. No, I still want to go. It's strange. Until now, I always thought His Majesty would be safer far away from this disaster-filled imperial palace. I thought His Majesty instinctively wanted to escape the imperial palace, which is why he went hunting. It turns out I was just assuming. This imperial palace has the Arthur Forest, which is the strongest shield to protect the emperor from the spirits. If that's the case, then where did it all go wrong? An enormous invisible barrier surrounds the forest. Not only does it protect the forest from outsiders with destructive intentions, but it also prevents evil spirits from entering. So those spirits can't enter this forest. This is the first time I've seen His Majesty's life force so clean since the wedding ceremony. After walking for a while to a place with stone slabs, he told her, let's stop here for today. Roderick thoughtfully placed a cloth on the stone slab. Sit here. Haley felt a bit unused to it. It's so strange to see him being so considerate of me. Back when I used to pick vegetables in the forest, I would just sit down and rest wherever. He warned, don't come here alone without me. I haven't gone deep inside, so I don't know what's in there. She looked around and told herself, nothing bad could possibly happen in this forest, right? It looks so sacred. Haley asked him, don't you come here often? Don't you find the air here very pleasant? Roderick shook his head. Of course I do. But after ascending the throne, there was too much to do, so I didn't have time to come here. She cheerfully invited him. From now on, please come here occasionally. Also, you and Zane should practice together often like you did earlier. She calculated, only then will you have a chance of winning this battle. Roderick looked confused. You speak as if you're about to disappear in a moment like a last will. She was startled. Me? She told herself. I have no thoughts of dying at all. It's probably because you don't believe the words of someone who just jumped into the water not long ago. Even though it was Haley who jumped, not me. She continued. I will try not to die of my own accord, but at some point people will die anyway. By the way, can you return my things? You took them because you were afraid I would do something dangerous, right? I'm just carving statues. Haley had a bad feeling. I feel like the condition of the beads is getting worse. As I thought, just one is not enough. The Jangsung statue too, I need to make more. He laughed it off and said, you're more stubborn than you look. I know. I'll return it to you. She exclaimed joyfully, wonderful. Suddenly, Roderick's expression became serious. But Haley, your words to me are a bit strange. When you say you'll try not to die of your own accord, doesn't that sound like you have no will to live? Anyway, when the time comes, people will die. Haley froze, not knowing how to answer. He hit the nail on the head. She intended to tell him, Your Majesty, I actually want to live very much. I have also tried very hard. But no matter how hard we try, we cannot win against a predetermined fate. Roderick felt something was wrong. It's strange. This girl is clearly a Duncan, but why sometimes… Do I get the feeling that she's from another world? The next morning, she was meditating as usual. The little spirit chirped, asking her, Yaizi, are you reading a book today too? Yes, today I'm going to read this one. The History of the Caney Empire. The young Emperor Arthur Luxbrecht, master of the Holy Sword. No one knows anything about the childhood of the emperor who founded the empire. When the corrupt Diamond Empire used evil magic to enforce a tyrannical regime, The young emperor rose up with the holy sword and successfully defeated them with divine power. After suffering a heavy defeat, the Diamond Empire began to fracture. The Mellon, Russell, and Duncan families, once great nobles of the Diamond Empire, later merged into the newly emerging Caney Empire and became the foundation of the upper class in the early days of the nation's founding. A servant reported to Roderick, "The movement to rebuild the Diamond Empire has been completely suppressed." He looked displeased. These words have been around since the previous generation, but the Reconstruction forces have continued to resist for many years. We must not be complacent. We must eradicate them completely. The official placed his hand on his chest. "Yes, Your Majesty." Suddenly, Roderick's face darkened, and he looked exhausted. The official's worried. "Is it a sign of hysteria again?" "He hasn't had an episode recently." Duke Duncan raised his hand and spoke. "Your Majesty, it seems the strength of the soldiers below is insufficient. Therefore, please let my eldest son, Albert Duncan, be the captain of the Western Border Guard. My son was unjustly demoted 3 years ago." "If the Empress's brother is not the captain of the Border Guard, wouldn't that affect the honor of Your Majesty and the Empress?" Roderick feigned surprise. "Demoted? Currently, the Caney Empire is prioritizing advancing south. The focus of this issue is the appointment of the captain of the southern troops. Does the Duke not realize the seriousness of this matter? The previous emperor bestowed a noble position upon your son, but it seems for Albert Duncan it was like pearls before swine." The officials began to whisper excitedly, "He doesn't rest for even a single day." A psychological battle between the emperor and the leader of the opposition, Duke Duncan. Roderick slammed the table and shouted furiously, "That statement of yours is an insult to the royal family. Duke Duncan, you had best value your own life. Even if you are the Empress's father, I will not overlook this." With that, he left coldly, leaving Duke Duncan both humiliated and ashamed. The scene shifts to Haley's room. She was fiddling with something when Roderick arrived. "The Emperor has arrived." Haley was surprised. "His Majesty is here? He's been coming often lately." As soon as he entered, he complained, "Haley Duncan, your father is throwing a fit again." Zane whispered to the person next to him, "He's been here 9 times in 3 days. Why does he keep coming to the Empress whenever something happens lately? I thought he only visited occasionally. Your Majesty, could it be he's trying to show how romantic he is to the Empress?" But in response, Haley laughed loudly, which surprised him. "I'm in this situation and you're laughing?" She replied, "So should I be angry? Your Majesty knew I would laugh. What happened today?" He plopped down onto the chair. "He said to reinstate your brother. I've married into quite an impressive family." The little spirit, whose spot he had taken, looked displeased. "This Roderick guy suddenly sat on my side. Look at that scary crowd following behind him." She was silently astonished. "Haley's brother? Reinstated where? I have no memory of this. I'll have to look through Haley's diary later." Just thinking about the diary was tiring. Dealing with such an eccentric person is exhausting. All nonsense. "I think I need to train my mind more." Seeing her uncomfortable expression, Roderick asked, "Did what I say make you uncomfortable?" Zane thought to himself, "Of course she's uncomfortable. You're insulting her father and brother. Isn't that like challenging them? Even if this is just a political marriage." Haley reassured him, "It's not a problem." Roderick was surprised. "What?" "You know, the atmosphere in my family isn't very good. You've seen it." He nodded in agreement. "That's true." Zane thought to himself. Haley Duncan was mocked as a walking flower vase. At first, I didn't understand why His Majesty questioned that nickname, but in just a few days, I've understood. No matter what the most powerful person in the Empire says, she accepts it calmly, always maintaining a gentle and mild attitude. But to be precise, doesn't it seem more like indifference to everything? A true Duncan. As expected, the blood flowing in her is no joke. Roderick spoke up. "Anyway, Haley, if someone comes here to talk to you, you should at least face them." She replied, "It's because I'm afraid of cutting my hand. If I get hurt and am in danger, you'll just take it away again." Zane continued his train of thought. "The problem is, His Majesty is indeed on guard, but it seems he has some strange feelings for the Empress." Haley said irritably, "I had to humble myself so much to get it back." This amused him. "I won't take it. I'm not that despicable after all." "Really? You promised. This is really important to me." Roderick nodded. All right, but..." He picked up the Jungsung statue on which was carved, "Great General of all under heaven." Note: usually there are 2 Jungsung statues standing next to each other representing male and female. One is the Great General of all under heaven, the other is the female general of the underworld. He asked, "I hope you will slowly explain to me what this thing is and why it's so important." The servants also found it strange. That's right. At first, I thought it was that thing, even though it doesn't have a very specific purpose. What is that thing anyway? It doesn't look like a decoration at all. She's made another bizarre creation. Roderick asked curiously, "What are you making this time?" "It's the same as the one you're holding." "There have to be two?" she replied. "Sitting and carving like this helps stabilize my mind." While answering, Haley thought, "I really shouldn't be talking while carving." But His Majesty just keeps grumbling for no reason. As expected, Roderick was looking around. "Seriously, I can't believe you have such a hobby at this age." Haley retorted, "You don't look your age either, Your Majesty." He was surprised. "Me? In what way?" "You look younger than your actual age. You don't look like you're 8 years older than your wife." He was speechless. "You really think so? Are you teasing the Emperor? This is unbelievable." "Yes, I'm sorry." So he's also concerned about the age gap. Actually, it's only a 4-year difference. Haley gave him the female general of the underworld statue she had just finished. "Take this with you. It's for you." "I'm serious. I refuse to accept this." "Is it that ugly?" "I know. It's the thought that counts. I'm not giving it to you because it's beautiful. The thought, even if I receive a gift from my wife." Before he could finish, she snatched it from his hand. "If you don't like it, then give it back to me." He immediately snatched it back. "Give it back to me. Who snatches a gift like that?" She instructed. "Hey, leave it under." This is a bit scary, isn't it? But it's a good luck charm to help you ward off bad luck and nightmares. I think with that face, it's more likely to wake me up from my sleep than to ward off nightmares. I made this to help you sleep well. If you don't want to see it, you can put it in a hidden place. With my current talent, I can't make a great talisman. But right now, Roderick needs help, no matter how small. She said, "Your Majesty, I don't really want to say this, but I want to say that sometimes sincere prayers from others can protect Your Majesty." Her sincere words moved Roderick so much that he was speechless. Hearing this, everyone marveled. "Oh my..." Haley was pensive. "It's just very difficult to find someone like that. That truth makes him live in misery, and it also makes me sadder." Roderick ran his hands through his hair for a moment, then said, "Yes. You don't have to go that far, I'll accept it. Did you really think I would refuse? So you'll accept it, right? Wait, then take this one with you too." She gave him the great general of all under heaven statue as well. "You're giving me both? You said you liked it. I can just make a new one. I told you it's my hobby. If I give you one, the other one will be lonely. So please take both of them." He was flustered for a moment. "I'm leaving. Don't you follow me?" She asked. "What's wrong with him all of a sudden?" Zane said, "He's probably embarrassed." Haley picked up a piece of wood and examined it. I'll remake it with this." Zane was confused. What a strange person. The little spirit looked annoyed. "Yeez, when are these people leaving? Tell them to hurry up." Night has fallen. On the table next to Roderick's bed, the two statues, Great General of all under heaven and Female General of the underworld, were placed neatly next to each other. He propped himself up on the bed and sat up. It was just dawn, and sunlight streamed into the room from the window. He thought to himself, "I only slept a little, although the dream was a bit scary." He turned his head to look at the two statues, a doubt in his heart. Is it really effective? Unbelievable. He poked the statue with his finger. Anyway, what a strange person. The evil spirits, suppressed last night, began to stir when they saw Roderick get up. He put on his coat and commented softly, "The morning isn't too bad." The evil spirits were excited to see Roderick leaving the room. They said, "He's coming out. Roderick is coming out." Eerie laughter echoed ceaselessly. Perhaps the two statues had made it difficult for them to brainwash Roderick. An evil spirit muttered, "Even at night, the life force here hindered us." Skipped, thank you note. Little butterflies flew past Haley's window. At this moment, she was meditating with the little spirit. The spirit tried to imitate her, even making little sounds. Finally, it gave up and plopped down on the ground, asking, "Guys, it seems we're sitting for longer today, huh?" "Yes, it's because my heart is a bit troubled." She thought to herself, I read Haley's diary at dawn. Normally, I would be speechless and have a headache, but today was different. In the diary, it was written, March 10th, year 499, tomorrow I will talk to Lauren. Let's throw everything away and leave Caney. But I know he will refuse. Even so, I still want to say it. Haley wondered in her diary, am I really a fool as everyone says? My heart aches whenever I think of the person Haley loved, Lauren. But when I think of Duke Duncan, Haley's father, I feel nothing. Haley must have really loved Lauren. Although Haley's soul has dissipated, that emotion still lingers in this body, like the remnants of ashes in a furnace. Did Haley tell Lauren she was going to leave? But she has entered an arranged marriage, so how does Lauren feel? Lost in thought, a noise suddenly came from outside. She turned her head to look towards the door. It's so noisy outside. Spirit, can you hear what they're saying outside? The spirit replied, huh? Then it turned and said to her, Roderick is going crazy. It seems he's lost his composure more than usual today. Hearing this, she asked in astonishment, His Majesty has gone crazy? It hasn't happened recently. Was the Hung Sung statue I gave him ineffective? As expected, with my current abilities, I can't help. I've met many shamans who, out of pity, ruined their own lives by doing things beyond their capabilities. So it's best for me to give up and not care anymore. While she was thinking, suddenly the images of Emperor Roderick and Lauren appeared in her mind. That gave her a headache, and she let out a cry. What was that just now? Suddenly, images of His Majesty and Lauren overlapped in my mind. It seems Haley still hasn't let go of Lauren. The little spirit beside her asked, What's wrong? She lamented inwardly. She still hasn't let go of him. Spirit, I'm going to see His Majesty. At this moment, Roderick's office was like a battlefield. Evil spirits surrounded him, their laughter echoing endlessly. A group of knights was restraining Roderick in the middle. The evil spirits kept babbling in his ear. You belong to us. They urged, Kill now, kill them. He was still trying to restrain himself. Zane wiped the sweat from his cheek, telling himself, he's calmer than before. When he heard the Empress's voice call, Zane exclaimed in astonishment, Your Majesty the Empress! Haley rushed over, asking worriedly, How is His Majesty? Zane thought that no matter how much he tried to stop her, it would be useless. So he replied, He's not as angry as he was before, but you must be careful. He added, Actually, I don't want to let you get near him. We just need to wait a little longer and he will calm down. Haley urgently moved forward, thinking to herself, This situation is not good at all. It's just His Majesty's strong mind winning against the hysteria. But no matter how strong he is, he still needs help. She calmly walked towards Roderick and said, Your Majesty, I've come to have tea with you again today. This time the tea is better than last time. Her hand touched the beads, realizing their current condition was very bad. If I use it as usual, it might break. Even though it's a bit strange. There's no other way. Even though she was very scared, she still stepped forward, swinging the beads to one side. A red light emanated from Roderick's eyes. He bit his lip, trying to restrain himself so as not to hurt her. An attendant standing nearby said worriedly, It's truly terrifying. His Majesty's eyes look like they want to devour someone. If it gets more dangerous, I'll run in to stop it. Zane thought to himself, Why does the Empress always step in whenever this situation occurs? Shouldn't she be terrified seeing a large man threatening to kill her? The Empress's hands are trembling like that. On this side, she clutched the beads in her hand, her heart filled with fear. No matter how many times I go through this situation, my whole body still trembles like this. Her hand gripped the beads tighter and tighter. It's just that the human heart is easily swayed. Therefore, when you hold true to your intentions, everything will proceed as normal. She began to chant subconsciously. Those who follow heaven's will shall prosper. Those who defy it shall perish. As the last two words were spoken, the entire room filled with a pale purple light, and the sash she was wearing also gently floated up. Roderick came to his senses, unable to hide his surprise. Everyone in the room was also stunned into silence. One person thought to himself, His Majesty's body is gradually relaxing. Why all of a sudden? She gently supported Roderick and said to the knight holding his shoulders, You can let him go now, it's all right. The knight replied with a start. Ah, yes. She quickly checked his condition. Good, it's better now. He regained consciousness and let out a soft groan. Ah, she replied in surprise. Yes. He opened his eyes and tried to speak. I slept very well. That ugly sculpture you gave me. It's not because I couldn't sleep that I ended up like this. So don't wear that guilty expression anymore. After speaking, he closed his eyes and let out a heavy breath. Then he collapsed onto her and she caught him, calling out in a panic, Your Majesty! Your Majesty! He rested his head on Haley's shoulder, his steady breath fanning her soft, smooth hair. The butler's eyes widened in amazement. This time is just like the last time. As soon as the Empress arrives, His Majesty falls asleep. Another person reminded him, Jimmy, be quiet. A moment later, he slowly opened his eyes. Roderick was startled to realize a warm hand was holding his tightly. He whispered in a daze, Haley, is that you? She replied softly, Yes. He reminded her, When I'm in this state, don't come near me anymore. I can't guarantee your safety. She rolled her eyes at him, thinking silently, Saying that to the person who made the talismans is quite heartless. But I know he has his own thoughts. She stuck out her tongue playfully and said, Your Majesty, it seems you've forgotten I'm a Duncan. I can find a way to survive better than anyone. You should face me as you would any other Duncan. But in her heart, she thought, anyway, I'll back away if I feel my life is in danger. We also need to keep our distance. So of course, we shouldn't get any closer. He asked curiously, Haley, you've asked me this question before. Are you planning some trick? She quickly changed the subject. A massage after exercise will help you reduce muscle tension. He thought to himself, lies. It's always like this. Always lying and deceiving me. You vaguely maintain a distance between us. The butler gasped, covering his mouth in amazement. He's asleep again. But Haley frowned and pouted. Then she pulled on Roderick's shirt. That action further astonished the butler. If one had to compare His Majesty to an animal, it would surely be a beast. So why does the Empress look like the one attacking him? Inside the shawl, his hand gently touched hers. Suddenly, Roderick lunged forward and hugged her tightly. Jimmy thought to himself, this time the little fox has been pinned. She called out softly, Hey, Zane. He turned his head and replied, Yes. Haley asked, Since when has His Majesty been like this? His Majesty's condition has been poor for a while now. I'm not curious about that. She hesitated. Haley asked awkwardly, Since when did his personality become so terrible? I can't think of a better way to put it. Zane seemed to understand and chose his words carefully. After ascending the throne, he always seemed to complain of a headache. It wasn't long before it became more serious. Is that so? Emperor Roderick ascended the throne in the year 497. So he has been enduring this condition for 3 years. He must have had a very hard time. Suddenly, he hugged her tightly. She groaned helplessly and silently turned away. Then she screamed, Your Majesty! No, it's not like that. Just let him lie on my lap like this. Just seeing this person clinging, the life force of the beads being so strong, is enough to understand how much he has reached his limit. Suddenly she asked, Does Zane often train with His Majesty like last time? Zane said, Let me see, when he holds a weapon, he becomes more violent. Is that so? When I came to watch last time, it seemed fine. The image of him training appeared in her mind. Even if Zane's words are true, it can't be confirmed that it's best for him not to hold a weapon. I hugged him a few times today. He's had the features of a long and strong life since birth. Perhaps that is his destiny, the sacred life force of a great emperor. I can't just keep running to help every time he goes mad, she said. Then please take him to the Arthur Forest often. But no one besides the royal family is allowed to enter that place. Zane was surprised. Enter where? Her deep eyes seemed to be hiding something. It's right, isn't it? Seriously, I just found out not long ago and I still forgot. My original memories and Haley's seem to be mixing together, so my mind is all jumbled up. She rubbed her forehead. Forget what I just said. I suddenly have a headache. I'll be returning to my room now, Zane. Please take care of His Majesty. The next day, golden sunlight streamed through the window. Haley was sprawled on the bed. Ha! I slept for a whole day. Yesterday, I collapsed onto the bed as soon as I entered the room. I haven't meditated today. The beads are still in pretty good condition. Is His Majesty going to avoid me again for a while? I have to have a comfortable day today. Although I decided that, she was too stunned to say anything, because Roderick came again. She asked, Is my father throwing a fit again today? He replied shyly, What? No. Jimmy was silently furious. Why is His Majesty so shy when he comes to see the Empress? Deborah replied, What if the Empress is the same way? At this point, Haley asked him, So what brings you here? He avoided her gaze. Do I need a reason to come to my wife's room? She thought to herself, So you just came here like that? It's like a patient who regularly visits the hospital, isn't it? She giggled, teasing him. Didn't you say you wouldn't accept a gift from a wife who is in love with someone else? Roderick grimaced and said, You're not to say a word. Yes, I was just kidding. I'm afraid someone will go snooping around the Duncan household for no reason. What an annoying family. Don't you dare imitate them. Deborah questioned the butler. Why is His Majesty suddenly bad-mouthing her family? Roderick plopped down on the chair. Anyway, I'm here now. How about we have the tea we missed yesterday? After that, a meticulously decorated tea table was set up. Haley gently lifted her teacup and took a sip. It's delicious. Roderick unconsciously watched her, his eyes following her every move. She gently picked up a cake. He rested his hand on his chin, his gaze fixed on her, lost in thought. She put the cake in her mouth, her cheeks puffing out adorably. Suddenly he spoke. Haley, do that again. She asked. Do what? The thing you did in the library, like how cats knead with their paws. She was stunned, her eyes wide. Could it be? She narrowed her eyes and placed her hands on Roderick's chest as if performing acupuncture. Is that thing like this? Or it would be the pink cat standing on his chest. You mean pressing like this? Haley quickly covered her face with her hands. The whole sky seemed to darken. I tried my best with my limited abilities. At that moment, he said, I have insomnia again. She shot up, thinking to herself, was the Jang Sung statue I carved that useless? He complained, you didn't pray for me yesterday. Haley was confused. Huh? But even if you say that. He looked at her, questioning. Perhaps you were thinking of another man last night? Your complexion is still very good. I think you seem to have slept very soundly, contrary to what you just said. He was startled and thought to himself, did she find out? The butler and Deborah felt awkward. Isn't this the best time for flirting rather than arguing? Would it be a lie to say they haven't done anything yet? Do you only live on lies? I already told you I was sure. Roderick thought to himself. The attendant and the head maid are still bickering. What are those people doing? She frowned, thinking. He finds it unreasonable, yet he always asks for my help. It's really... He's still suspicious, which is why I'm trying not to act strangely. And he was staring at her intently. Is she on guard? Why? I don't know either. I just know she's hiding something. It seems she has no intention of harming the royal family, at least not yet. He pleaded, come on, do it, I'm asking you. Why are you suddenly pretending to be obtuse? You say it so well, now that you've said that, how can I refuse? There's no other way, I'll just pretend to do it roughly. Give me your hand. Haley gently took his hand, telling herself, just pretend, just pretend. This way he won't get suspicious. He stared at her hand with a pensive expression. As expected, her slender hands are as soft as velvet. Each long finger is like a flower petal. No matter how she moves, she has no muscles. Her fingers look so delicate. Haley suddenly froze. She paused, looking at her hand resting in his, and said, Your Majesty. He gently lifted her hand. He lifted her hand, thinking to himself, because her skin is so delicate, the blisters from using the knife to carve will only heal later. Even with that, her hobby is still carving things. Instead of saying she likes it, it's more like she was carving with a knife even before she came to the Imperial Palace. Why would she have to lie? Hey, Haley? Suddenly he froze and asked in surprise, Are you trying to seduce me? Yes, what are you talking about now? He turned his face away, deliberately avoiding the topic. You've completely untied it down there. Haley's dress strap had come undone, revealing her full chest. She quickly covered her chest with her hands, her cheeks blushing. Since when? Haley awkwardly pulled at the strap in front of Roderick's indifferent face. Why isn't this working? She awkwardly fumbled with her hands inside her dress, trying to quickly tie the strap. Where did this dress come from? I don't know anything. Did Deborah help me put this on? Haley turned her face, her eyes pleading with Deborah. All right, Deborah, come here and do something, Deborah. Deborah linked arms with Jimmy and gave a mischievous smile. Look at that awkward state. It's clear nothing has happened yet. You dare doubt the headmaid's eyes? The butler gritted his teeth. But it's clear. Roderick turned his head to look at the two of them, whispering, These people are working hard in unnecessary places. He moved closer to Haley and held up his hand, saying, Take your hands away. She blushed and said, No. He gently touched the dress strap, his warm hands tying it for her. He looked down at her face intently. You're all red. He smiled faintly, telling himself, You can't hide these things, huh? Hey, it's all right now, Haley, she stammered. She screamed, This is like sexual harassment! What? I was just fixing it for you. You should have pretended you didn't know. But then others would see. You could have told me in another way, Roderick argued back. So what am I supposed to do when others pretend not to know but are still secretly watching? Should I fold a piece of paper and pass it to you? All right, it's all my fault. Haley, I'm sorry. Answer me. I don't know, I just really hate it. It's fine if you don't like me, but just don't hate me too much. Because I think you're much better than you were at the beginning. I think so too, I'm much better than I was at the beginning. He sighed. Seriously, you're very clever at using your heart. You're not angry anymore, right? I already said I don't know. She told herself, I'm not going to do anything that stands out anymore. Definitely. Definitely. But Kang Yi's is tied to the word unfortunate. So life doesn't go as I expect. She suddenly screamed, Hey, These things just keep hitting me in the face. I had already decided not to do this anymore. I had decided so. She trembled, running back to her room step by step. As soon as she got there, she fell face down on the bed. But I can't pretend I don't know anything. The little creature beside her quickly comforted. Yeezy is so good. Yeezy is super amazing. Haley sighed, replying pitifully, Thank you, but I'm not happy at all. Bright sunlight shone into the palace. Zane approached and bowed to Roderick. I greet the glory of Caney. Yes, what is it? Zane thought to himself. It seems his condition is getting better and better. What is it? This is the report you asked me to investigate last time. Roderick read the report. The cause of death of the first woman married to your majesty is believed to be a deadly poison. He was angry. As I thought. We should have investigated this before. Zane bowed his head. Before your second fiancé was poisoned. I didn't know Duke Duncan was so obsessed with becoming a member of the royal family. Roderick instructed, you must be certain about the evidence because the Duke probably won't confess now. Yes. Also, your majesty, I heard the Empress brought a diary from the ducal estate. A diary? It seems there are about 10 volumes, but after she came here, she stopped writing and occasionally takes them out to read anywhere. It's possible there's important information about the Duncan family inside. How about I go and investigate? Roderick looked at him silently for a moment, his gaze pensive. Suddenly, he slammed the stack of documents on the table. Duke Duncan hasn't made any major moves lately, has he? No, but he still insists on reinstating Albert Duncan. I don't really like this feeling. Then let the Empress manage this matter. Zane looked flustered as if he had something to say. Your Majesty? But he immediately cut him off. I don't want to become a shallow man who just reads his wife's diary. Those words were like a knife stabbing Zane's heart. I wish you were like that before you ascended the throne. He silently recalled Roderick's earlier words. Can that secret protect the throne or your life? You said that yourself. Isn't the Empress manipulating you a bit too much? Roderick stood up. That's enough about the Duncan family. Zane, relax. He was startled and replied, yes, yes. Then he worried silently. I'm starting to get worried. Outside, the small lake was peaceful. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Hey, why are you pretending not to see me? You don't like talking to me? What? I thought I was a handsome man loved by thousands. Haley was helpless. She could only lower her head and say to herself, he's appeared again. Does this face of mine have no attacking power? She thought, and he talks a lot. If it did have attacking power, what would you do? Seduce people again? What? You're really interesting. Please, can you just stop talking to me? Why? I'm not a vengeful spirit. It's because I care about you that I'm like this. So, you're interested in me? He quickly explained, that's not what I mean. I'm just interested in you as a person. Also, I'm not a vengeful spirit, but a guardian deity, so don't be afraid of me. Whether you're a vengeful spirit or a guardian deity, because of you, I keep getting involved with the other world. I just want to live a normal life. He moved closer and whispered softly, compared to that, it seems you're trying to change your fate, aren't you? Haley could only remain silent. To be called out by a spirit? She picked up a branch from the ground and wrote a few words. Demons and ghosts, be gone. He laughed loudly. Isn't my face beautiful? Even as a spirit, I'm still handsome. Haley immediately retorted, not beautiful, and I don't like people younger than me. I may look like this, but I'm old, over 500 years old. She ignored him. I'm not curious about that. Elsewhere, a wooden sword flew past, causing Zane to quickly dodge. He cried out silently, I really can't take it anymore. Roderick stood there, the wooden sword resting on his shoulder, his voice full of complaint. Zane, you're the captain of the knights, yet you're weaker than me? I will train more. He said loudly, proposing one more round. But suddenly he froze, his gaze fixed on the distant space. What is that? Suddenly, Roderick dropped the sword, turned, and walked away. Let's stop here. I'm leaving first. No need to escort me. Yes, your majesty. Roderick ran off in a hurry. I don't know why either. Maybe it's over there. At this moment, he stopped. His gaze turned towards the garden next to the lake. If I go in this direction, it's the garden with the lake. Haley jumped in while unconscious. I don't know if she'll wake up. He felt his chest tighten. He breathed heavily, both anxious and frustrated. I don't like it. By the lake, the spirit still flew around Haley. On the sand, a clumsy portrait of Roderick gradually appeared. She suddenly hesitated. The spirit immediately replied, What? If you are the guardian deity of this place, why can't you help Roderick? Has that person committed such a great sin that he must suffer like this? I want to know. Oh, what sin has Roderick committed? Let me tell you. Haley's face showed a hint of sadness. The spirit continued. Just kidding, I can't tell you the reason. Hearing that, Haley tightened her grip on the branch in her hand. He seemed unconcerned and continued to speak. So you should find out for yourself. Haley thought to herself. I knew it. Then she didn't hesitate to say bitterly, as expected, talking to spirits only hurts myself. It's best to just do as I please. He laughed and said, I can hear everything, you know. What is happening? What on earth is happening? She was lost in a stream of thought. I feel like I'm standing in a thick fog with no way out. I don't know anything and no one is telling me. Old Lady Ayong-san isn't here now to stop me from approaching danger. It turns out this life is just as bad as the last one. Suddenly, her gaze fell on the palm of her hand. So, what about Haley's palm lines? Her features are unfortunate, but not special at all. Not any better. And she's near Emperor Roderick, too. As expected, my fate has always been tied to the word unfortunate. The spirit standing beside her smiled faintly as if seeing through her mood. Unexpectedly, he called out, Kang Yize, which made her turn around to look at him with a start. I never told him my name. As expected, he's not an ordinary spirit, he said with a smile. Both you and Haley have died once, haven't you? He says that so casually to a living person like me. She was flustered, her sweaty hand letting go of the branch. She turned her face away, muttering, Arguing with a spirit only makes me more tired. He smiled, watching her intently. Suddenly, he pointed into the distance. Roderick is here, it's true. He sees me. She was shocked to see a crowd of vengeful spirits following him. The spirit said, Look, that face is radiating annoyance. There, a whole crowd of vengeful spirits is following behind. Will he find out you're cheating on him with me? Haley immediately retorted. Are you crazy? Don't talk such nonsense. Roderick looked towards Haley, but he was completely unaware of the vengeful spirits lingering behind him. The spirit beside Haley sneered, He's brought an army with him. He performed a spell and a white horse appeared. He mounted the horse and looked back at her. Let me clean up. Have a good time. With that, he spurred the horse. The horse went straight towards Roderick and the crowd of vengeful spirits. Just a smirk. He cleared out the demons in the blink of an eye. Haley marveled to herself, so strong. And yet he hesitated to help His Majesty. The image of Arthur seemed to be pulled closer, his face magnified. He gave her a small wave goodbye. At the same time, Roderick had just arrived. She called out softly, Your Majesty. He asked, Haley, why are you here? She replied, So what? What if I'm here? Is he worried because I'm near the water? I'm not imprisoned, I'm the Empress, so I can go to His Majesty's bedroom whenever I please. You're talking back again. How can I accept what you just said? She smiled faintly and said, I just came out for some fresh air. I have no intention of jumping into the lake. Roderick grimaced, looking annoyed. Suddenly he sat down on the ground next to her. He asked, Are you playing with the dirt? She thought to herself, Why is he talking so cutely? Yes, I'm playing with the dirt. Is it fun? All your hobbies are strange, aren't they? Did your Majesty practice with Zane today too? He looked at the drawing on the ground and thought, Does drawing my face look that familiar? Then he answered her question. That's right. She thought, I must thank Zane for his contribution. But how did he get here from the training ground? Could he have been attracted by the life force of that Western spirit? If not, then by my life force? Anyway, this situation is very good. Your Majesty, if you've finished practicing, please go to the forest. What? It's time for a walk. Are you raising an animal? You're bolder than I thought. Is your personality originally like this? It's completely different from the rumors I've heard. His unexpected words made Haley pause. She wondered to herself, should I behave more like Haley Duncan? But actually, I've never joked or talked to others like this before. All right, this is the problem. When I'm with this person, I feel very happy. What is it? Why are you suddenly silent? If there's anything else you want to talk about, just say it. Is it really okay? If you have time, please go and meet with the priests. Because when you have faith, you will always have good luck. Roderick frowned and replied curtly, You should see a doctor regularly to improve your health. She thought, I was wondering what it was. Turns out it's an adult's nagging. Right, I'll listen to your nagging. Let's go to the Arthur Forest. She thought, being with His Majesty makes me too happy. I might get into danger without realizing it. She said hesitantly, But I've been walking a lot just now, so my legs hurt. I'll rest for a bit and come later. What? Then what's the point of me going there alone? How about I carry you to the forest? She was startled and quickly refused. I can walk by myself. I'm still fine. Are you really sure? She told herself, the Arthur Forest is always full of sacred life force. But because of that, if he goes there, he will become stronger. Because no matter how hard I try, I can't pull away half of this person's life force. He doesn't need help from someone like me in the first place. She sighed sadly, not understanding why she felt sad. Roderick reached out his hand to touch her, then lay down, making her shy and flustered. What are you doing? He replied nonchalantly, I've tried many times, so I've learned from experience. Lying like this helps me sleep well. She thought shyly, It's not because of the position that you're sleepy, you just feel comfortable. She played with his hair. Am I your Majesty's pillow? So should I thank you for being my pillow? But it's more like a blanket than a pillow, isn't it? Your Majesty, what you said was a bit mean, you know. So do you think the act of helping you fix your dress was also a bit indecent? Are you harassing me? Haley, I know you don't like this marriage, but isn't it normal for a married couple to joke around like this? I'll give you whatever you want. Your Majesty already gave me permission. That's right, the more you say it, the more I want to laugh. I'm really looking forward to how outrageous your next sentence can be. Ah ha ha. What is this? What is this? So comfortable. Even though this marital relationship is far from normal, with many rumors and all sorts of conflicts, it's still so comfortable. Suddenly, he remembered something. Ah, at the end of next month, there's the annual hunting competition. She jumped up in excitement and shouted, "Hunting again?" That action made his head hit the ground, and she said guiltily, "I'm sorry, did you hit the ground?" She quickly cradled his head in her lap and said softly, "Can't that hunting competition be cancelled? You're not allowed to kill." He replied, "I made an excuse to cancel it last year, so I probably have to do it this year. Unlike your determined opposition because you love animals, your father is adamant about not canceling it and is pushing for the competition to be held." She cried silently in anger. "Duke Duncan, you're no help at all!" She squeezed his face with her angry hands. He thought, is she really that angry? She must really love animals. Haley was silent, thinking worriedly, I need to come up with a new plan. Then she suddenly asked, "But why did you cancel it last year? You usually go hunting." "Actually, the hunting competition is a place for nobles to socialize, not just my people, but there are also many spectators." So he didn't want people to see that image. He also had his own thoughts. "This girl, I just said a little, and she already knows what I'm worried about." He raised his hand to touch her face. "Always hiding so many things. Yet when she's worried about me, it's so obvious. I have never directly admitted to the hysteria because the Emperor's words have the power to shake an entire empire. The moment I speak the truth to anyone, I'm afraid I will truly become a mad emperor. But why do I feel more comfortable telling her? The daughter of my sworn enemy, a person planted in the imperial palace to restrain me. The moment she sees my weakness, she will run and report it to her father. And yet, even though I know the danger right in front of me, I still want to say everything. This is the first time I've felt this way. Maybe you're thinking of something, but I'm not normal, not like a human being at all. Every day is strange, I don't know what to do right now." Thinking of this, he called out hesitantly, "Haley, actually, I—" Before he could finish, she covered his mouth with both her hands. "No, your majesty is not like that." Then Haley removed her hands. Then she covered his eyes again. "It's all right, it's really all right. You don't need to say anything more." She told herself, "You're not crazy, nor are you strange, I know everything. A person with such clear and honest eyes can't be like that. I'm sorry, I can only help you with small things." Roderick looked at Haley, thinking to himself, what a wonderful girl. Even without saying a word, I feel so comfortable. She said, "That hunting competition, if you want to go, I will embroider a handkerchief for you." He placed his hand on hers. "All right, thank you." A few days later at the palace, people were buzzing. "Your Majesty, is there no hunting competition this year either?" He replied, "Let me see." Duke Duncan asked, "Are you not feeling well somewhere?" He asked back, "Where do you want me to be in pain?" "How could I? I only said that out of concern for you as a humble servant." Roderick thought to himself, how could a person like this have given birth to Haley? They do look alike on the outside. What bad luck, why do I see parts of my wife's face in his? He signaled, "Zane, bring me that document. I have a gift for the Duke. This is so annoying, I need to vent my anger." Roderick slammed the document on the table. "This is for you, Duke Duncan. This is an anonymous complaint stating that there is a discrepancy between your actual income and the amount of tax you paid me. Should I open an investigation? I want to investigate every nook and cranny. All this time, I have been mindful of the honor of the Empress and the Caney Empire. As for reinstating Albec Duncan, I will answer this one last time. I hope you will not continue to tarnish the Empress's reputation. I'm trying to be patient, so don't push it. I will give you one more chance, try to fix it. The hunting competition next month will be held as scheduled. I don't know if I found myself a very good wife, but since getting married, my health has improved. Let's end it here for today." Duke Duncan bit his lip, suppressing his anger. Behind the door, as Roderick stepped out, the Duke made a loud noise. He laughed, ha ha, in amusement, while the butler and Zane were so tense that sweat was pouring down. At the meeting table, Duke Duncan trembled as he thought, the Emperor has changed. The bullet-like gaze has returned. His emotions are no longer dark and fluctuating. There are no openings. As if unable to contain his anger, he let out a curse. "Damn it! I thought things would get easier after putting my daughter on the Empress's throne. What the hell is Haley doing?" As night fell, Haley was focused on carving wood. While Haley was focused on carving wood on the bed, Roderick opened his eyes. He sat up, stretched, and marveled. That was a great sleep. Zane, standing guard by the bed, thought helplessly, he's bothering the big Duncan so much, and now he's lying on the little Duncan's bed. He looked at Haley's back and thought, still doing that? A second strange bracelet? What on earth is the meaning of that pattern that looks like a doodle? On the table, she focused on carving the piece of wood. As she worked, she thought, with the strongest wish possible, before this string of beads is completely broken, I have to try to finish the new string of beads, my lifeline. Nearby, Roderick looked at her with helpless confusion. She's so focused, she's not even saying anything. Suddenly he spoke, startling Zane. According to the report, Haley Duncan loves to follow trends. Is this the modern trend of this era? Who reported that? Hearing this, Zane felt a pang of guilt and looked away. Haley placed the carved piece of wood on the table, under the admiring gaze of the spirit. I didn't make it because it's pretty, you know? Roderick asked curiously. Then why were you so focused? In response to his question, she giggled. Because I'm training my mind. Are you done? Yes, done for today. He lay down on his side on the bed and patted the spot next to him, saying, Then come here. Zane mumbled in confusion. He's still not going back? The butler added, It seems so. Suddenly, the headmaid's eyes flashed. She angrily dragged the butler and Zane by the collar. When will you people ever learn to be discreet? With only the two of them left in the room, Haley cried out helplessly in her mind, I'm dead. Looking at Roderick snoring on the bed and the annoyed little spirit beside him, she thought, After returning from the Arthur Forest, whenever he has free time, Emperor Roderick comes to my place to sleep. Besides that forest, this room is the safest and cleanest place in the Imperial Palace, so he can sleep comfortably. He's here until late today, too. The night grew darker and darker. Haley blushed shyly. Is he planning to sleep here tonight? Does he mean just sleep normally? Or, then, embarrassing images of lovemaking flashed through her mind. She quickly corrected her thoughts and cursed, This perverted demon! On the bed, Roderick silently watched her blush. Then he walked towards her and suddenly lifted her up. She blushed and grabbed his sleeve, stammering, What? What is it? If you're uncomfortable, I'll sleep on the sofa, so you can sleep comfortably on the bed. After saying that, he went to sit on the sofa. Haley lifted her legs onto the bed, thinking, Finding a comfortable place to sleep is also difficult. What should I do? Finally, she called out, Your Majesty. He asked, What is it? You should sleep on the bed too with me. Roderick looked up at her with a meaningful expression. Then he quickly jumped onto the bed right next to her. She thought with a start, It's as if he was waiting for me to say that. On the table, the little spirit hugged a wooden bead and slept soundly. On the bed, Roderick spoke. I thought you would let the Emperor sleep on the sofa. Do you know how disloyal that is? She replied, This is my room, and this bed is also mine. You say the strangest things sometimes. I just mean that I'm lucky my wife isn't too cold. But Haley, she replied, Yes. Suddenly he turned over and pinned her to the bed. Do you know what to do when we sleep in the same bed? Isn't it about time we did that? She was both surprised and shy, not knowing how to answer. Silence and shyness filled the room. Haley seemed to have turned to stone in this situation, which made him say helplessly, I was just kidding. Haley, snap out of it. But it's not really a joke, but you don't have to feel like it's difficult to refuse. Haley pulled the blanket up, blushing as she thought, I want to try it once, but for some reason I can't say the words. I don't even understand my own heart anymore. A person who only knows about ghosts. He also thought, she probably needs more time to prepare mentally since Haley loved someone so much she had to jump into the water. But if the hunting competition is held this time, that person will also participate. The person Haley loved. The next day in the study, Roderick was seriously reading the document in his hand. This is the person Haley likes. I've heard this name before because he's a famous swordsman in the Empire. Before getting engaged to Haley, I really didn't pay much attention. This is the pile of investigation reports on Haley before the marriage. I need to read it again. Under the crystal chandelier, the sound of flipping documents echoed continuously. He frowned in annoyance at the document, then he shouted, Zane! Zane, I've rechecked the report on the Empress. From 1 to 10, none of these things match. She has a rather strange hobby, that's what's different. What is this? Haley Duncan likes sweets and desserts? An image of her refusing the chicken dish with a calm expression appeared in his mind. Dishes with strong flavors, he confirmed. She almost only eats bland dishes. If it's even a little bit strongly flavored, she can't eat it and skips the meal immediately. Even though she eats like a bird, I have directly observed and confirmed this. So what is this information? You investigated with your eyes half closed. What kind of shoddy work is this? Investigate again from the beginning and bring it here. The deadline is until the end of the hunting competition. The subordinate said sadly, I did a very good job. Zane beside him comforted. It's also my fault for not checking. Roderick plopped down on the chair, closing his eyes wearily as he thought, why am I so angry? Could it be because I still suspect that Haley is hiding something? Thinking, he silently looked out the window. But Haley and her maid have separated. After that, she wandered by the lake. Follow her carefully. If anything happens to her, I will not let it slide. I understand. Then I will take my leave, Your Majesty. Zane stepped outside and closed the door. He leaned back in his chair and let out a tired sigh. A few days later, in the flower garden, Haley's figure stood alone. She stood with her hands on her hips, frowning intently at something. The flower bushes swayed gently in the wind. Suddenly, a spirit appeared and asked, "What are you concentrating on?" His sudden appearance startled her. "You just appeared out of nowhere. You know I was looking for you, right? And you also know I've been waiting for a few days, yet you refuse to appear. You despicable thing. I'm not that easy." Haley sighed helplessly. "What bad luck?" He asked innocently. "But why did you have to wait for me? You know everything. Can you go with His Majesty to the hunting competition to help him? I mean, it's extremely dangerous for him to leave the palace. So what will you give me?" "What?" "I will accept anything except for things that are life-threatening or cause injury." "Ah, your love isn't great enough to trade your life for?" "Yes, what love?" "Then what is it?" She replied, "This is just pity for a patient, a kind of benevolent heart. Are you playing games? But this is also a good time. Let's see, right now I don't want anything from you. So you want to try being by my side? If you do, I'll do as you thought last time." She was startled and blushed, saying loudly, "I wasn't thinking of anything. I hate you." "Am I not handsome? You said you like older men. How about around 500 years old? Old people are old people, dead people are dead people, this shameless spirit." Her expression made him laugh with delight. "Haha." She asked again hesitantly, "Is that really your condition?" "Yes." "What, you're willing to go that far? You said it wasn't because of love." "I already said it wasn't, I was just asking. I'm not really going to do it." "Ah, haha." "Ah, ha, ha, Kang Yeezy, this relationship is better than you think. And with the person you like, it's even more wonderful. Seeking happiness and the meaning of life is a human privilege. I mean, don't think of that emotion as a bridge for the other side to have an advantage. So stop overthinking." He patted Haley's head. "You're so young, yet you're always paying attention to strange things. Just enjoy being human." "I already said I don't like him, and I have to listen to a sermon from a spirit. Have you ever seen a bachelor ghost?" "Anyway, I can't accept your request," Haley asked with a start. "What? A human trying to make a deal with a spirit? What's wrong with your head? Don't you know that if you do that, your life will be ruined? This palace is full of evil energy. Do you know what will happen if you do that?" Haley frowned and thought, "That's true, but I don't have enough strength. I tried embroidering a handkerchief as a talisman, but it didn't work. Giving him a talisman is a bit suspicious. There's no other way. Because I don't have enough strength, I have to do more." A memory surfaced of her embroidering a handkerchief, the little one on her head exclaiming, "Yiza, how are you so talented?" No, I'm just good at crafts. Don't ask me to cook." She frowned in annoyance. "I have to put all my sincerity into this and my wish. Even if I stay up for several nights to pray, I don't have enough confidence that I can protect Emperor Roderick with my own strength." Thinking this, she said irritably, "If you're not going to help, then why did you ask? I'm being serious. I've hated you from the beginning. What bad luck?" "What? Hang Yeezy? Bad luck? What do you mean?" "What do you mean what? I'm in a hurry, so I'm being a bit rude. If you're offended, I'm sorry, okay?" He laughed and called her Kang Yeezy, a person who is gradually getting lost. He raised his hand and pointed straight at her. "Don't you forget what I said. Enjoy being human." With that, he disappeared, leaving Haley alone and bewildered. "He's gone? Enjoy what? That spirit didn't help in the end. Is he really a guardian deity? There isn't much time left until the hunting competition. My mind suddenly feels empty. Have I been exhausted lately from overworking? This is not good. I told Deborah not to follow me." And she fainted on the grass. Later in Haley's room, the door was closed, and Zane stood guard outside. Roderick said angrily, "You're clearly protesting." "That wasn't my intention. How embarrassing." Zane found her passed out and carried her back. A helpless image appeared. Zane worriedly carried the unconscious Haley away, thinking to himself, "His Majesty is going to kill me." Haley continued, "Is my father throwing a fit again? I'm sorry." Roderick was helpless and frowned at her. He asked, "Does it hurt a lot?" She quickly replied, "Not at all. I'm really fine. The doctor also said it's just normal dizziness. He even said I could get up right away." "You could get up? Don't you dare stand up. How many times has this been since you came to the Imperial Palace? Ha ha ha." She thought, "Why don't you try counting how many times you've gone mad during that time? It would be faster. Because every time that happens, I faint." "Laughing, show me where you're hurt." If I've caused you trouble, I'm truly sorry. It's not about that. Don't talk like that anymore. I understand that you don't like this marriage. I don't hate being married to your majesty. She thought, I'm the type who just thinks of it as my fate and decides to adapt. Roderick asked helplessly, What does that mean? Does it mean you hate me? I don't hate your majesty. I don't believe you. Then do you know my name? Is there anyone in this empire who doesn't know your name? Then what is my name? Say it. Roderick Peresbrecht. She thought to herself, Why do I suddenly feel so embarrassed? Roderick also blushed and thought, She knows it well, even though she's never called my name. You can call me Roderick or Rose. Haley was surprised and told herself, His nickname? Is that so? Thank you, but I'd still prefer to call you Your Majesty. After saying that, she pulled the blanket over her entire face in front of his angry expression. What? Why? I just think we need to keep our distance.